Chapter 1254. Xiao Bei and the others waited and waited until the third or fourth place was decided. When the first and second places were decided, Song Dakong appeared where Mao Mao was just now. Mao Mao held the racket in her right hand and was about to serve when she suddenly turned her head and saw her father standing there and waving his arms. She immediately revealed a big smile. When the referee blew the whistle, she threw the ping-pong ball up high. At the same time, she leaned back slightly to the right. When the ball fell more than 10 centimeters away from the table, she suddenly twisted her body and waved her arms. The ball spun at high speed to the right and landed on her table. Then, it jumped to the table diagonally opposite her opponent. The first time the ball deviated a little, but when it landed on the table, the ball bounced to the opponent's left. The opponent was a little boy. Without waiting for the ball to bounce too far, he stretched his arm forward and swatted it back. It seemed that he was not a mediocre player. Mao Mao turned sideways and pulled her right hand up from her leg. When the ball flew over, it just happened to hit the racket. She increased the strength of her wrist and pulled the ball up, but at an even faster speed. It drew an arc and fell to the table on the opponent's right. Seeing that he could not directly hit the ball back on the table, the little boy quickly moved his feet one step to the right. Facing the falling ball, not only did he not pull it up, but he cut it down. Using the spinning force of the ball, he chopped the ball back along the net. Mao Mao swatted the ball back. The moment the racket touched the ball, her wrist trembled, and the ball was pushed to the little boy's left hand. The little boy supported his left foot and used his waist. His right foot stepped in front of his left leg. His right hand swatted down again, and the ball flew to the corner of the table on Mao Mao's right. Mao Mao quickly took 2 steps back, giving her right hand time to swing and pull the ball up again. The two sides played back and forth. It was a thrilling game. Xiao Bei's eyes widened. He stood up and said in surprise, "Is this a children's competition? The opponent seems to have a good family education. Either that, or he's talented. It's not easy for Mao Mao to win." Xiao Yuan was also surprised. He had played a few times and knew that it looked like the two sides were hitting the ball back and forth. They wanted to make the opponent lose their position and be unable to exert force. In reality, every time he hit the ball, not only did he have to face the opponent's spinning ball, but he also had to hit the ball back according to the direction of his own design. If it were him, the ball would have flown away by the time he hit the ball. The two sides fought back and forth on the field, and the score was very tight. In the first round, Mao Mao won by a narrow margin with a score of 17-15, and then the second round began. "Is that Mao Mao's father?" Xiao Bei didn't want to be affected too much by the competition, so he looked elsewhere. Suddenly, he saw an adult at the spot where Mao Mao had been standing. He raised his hands and shouted, so he guessed who it was. "More or less. Shall we go over?" Little Yuan suggested. "Let's go. Hurry up. Who knows, Mao Mao might end up winning both rounds. If we turn back, it'll be too chaotic." Xiao Bei called out and ran towards that direction from the aisle that the crowd had deliberately left open. The other 8 people followed behind him. When they squeezed near Mao Mao's father, the score on the field was Mao Mao 17-18 behind the opponent. In a 15-goal game, they actually played such a high score. The intensity of the competition between the two sides was evident. "Excuse me, are you Song Mao Mao's father?" Xiao Bei asked Song Dakong, who was staring at the stage. "Wait a moment. Didn't you watch the game?" Song Dakong had forgotten the purpose of his visit. He clenched his fists tightly and hated that he couldn't turn into a racket and fly over to help his daughter. He didn't want to hit the opponent's ball to the side of the table, making it impossible for the opponent to catch it. As they spoke, the score on the field came out. Mao Mao had lost 17-19. That brat doesn't know how to give in to my daughter? Her father wants to marry me? Dream on. Look at how my daughter is being bullied. She's sweating all over, Song Dakong said with a gloomy face. Xiao Bei and the others were speechless. The two sides knew each other, so it looked like they were going to marry each other. "Boss Song, respect, do you understand? Playing nicely with Mao Mao is a form of respect for Mao Mao, just like my brother and sister. When the two of them are idle, they will argue, but my brother never gives in, Xiao Bei said to Song. The two sides on the field were taking a short break, drinking some water and wiping off their sweat. Song finally had the time to look at the person who was talking. When he heard her mention brother and sister, he suddenly realized that the one who liked to talk the most was Xiao Bei. He thought of his mission and asked, "Then who won the argument between your brother and your sister?" There was no winner or loser in the topic they were arguing about. As they argued, the topic would deviate very far. In the end, they found a common topic and began to discuss. Mao, do your best. Don't be afraid of losing. Do your best. Xiao Bei had just said a few words when she saw that the third round was about to begin. It was also the deciding round. She jumped and shouted, and Xiao Yuan and the others cooperated and shouted together. Song didn't think about the collaboration and waved his hand. On the field, Mao looked at her opponent and smiled. It just so happened that she was the one who served. She suddenly switched the racket from her right hand to her left hand, squinted her eyes, and said in a voice that her opponent could hear, "Not bad. It looks like your family found someone to specially train you. You were indeed very tenacious before, but did you know that my left hand is better than my right? Now, the game officially begins." The little boy on the opposite side looked at his own two hands and was stunned. The game just now was already hard enough. It was too awkward for the opponent to suddenly switch hands. It couldn't be played like this. He hadn't studied how to deal with the spinning ball played by the left hand. Who in his family collected the information? I protest. The little boy raised his racket and shouted at the referee. The referee made a hand gesture to signal for the game to be paused. He approached the little boy and asked him. After that, he softly communicated with the little boy and retreated, indicating that the game should continue. The little boy looked depressed. It looked like his protest was ineffective. Mao threw the ball and pushed it with her left hand. The ball bounced twice on the table. The little boy caught the ball and it flew away. Mao, aren't you supposed to serve the ball? Why aren't you turning it? The little boy picked up the ball and returned it to Mao. Normally, catching a spinning ball was a 100% success rate, but usually there was only a 50% success rate. This was because when you caught the ball, you had to turn it back. If you made a wrong judgment, the success rate would not be as good as in theory. There was a high possibility that the ball would fly away. Just now he wanted to turn it back, but the opponent didn't turn it. All is fair in war. Mao didn't show any mercy. After that, she served the ball again. This time, when the racket touched the ball, it suddenly tilted back. At the same time, there was a pulling action. As a result, the ball rolled forward and spun down. The little boy made a horizontal cutting action to block the ball. He made a wrong judgment, and the ball flew away from the top. Then Mao showed his power and made the opponent eat 7 balls in a row. The little boy didn't get the right to serve and fell behind 0-7. The 8th ball was finally caught. Just as the ball was pulled to a far angle on the right side and hit Mao's right hand, Mao directly hit the little boy's left hand with his left hand. The little boy couldn't adjust and lost the ball. Just now, he was at the right corner of his table and pulled the far angle. Now that the ball was spinning, he had to run back and step with his right foot and pull up with his right hand. But he didn't have the time. He had already lost his position. The little boy was not used to Mao's left hand. He understood that the left hand didn't mean that he was good. If he knew how to play, the opponent would face the same situation as him. If his position was uncomfortable, the opponent would also be uncomfortable, unless the opponent used 2 hands, but that was not allowed. Do you need me to give you a handicap? After playing for a while, Mao was leading 12 o'clock and still had the right to serve. The little boy lost miserably. When he heard Mao's words, he hesitated for a moment and showed a disdainful expression. Give me a handicap? Isn't it just a left hand? Next time, do you think I can't afford to lose? Serve. The two played back and forth. The little boy was affected by his mentality and played worse and worse. In the end, he lost 0-15. It was a clean loss. The audience couldn't believe what they saw. The first two games were so fierce. How could the third game be so obvious? Mao didn't look too happy when he won the game. Instead, he said to the little boy, "My father wants to talk about cooperation with Xiaobei. Maybe he will leave Izhou in the future. My brother, sister, and I will have to go with him. We can't play with you." The little boy was stunned. Winning or losing the competition seemed so insignificant at this moment. He felt very sad and asked, "Didn't we agree when we started school at the beginning of spring? When it rains during summer vacation, we'll go catch loaches and make them eat tofu. If you leave, I'll take the servants at home to catch loaches?" It was Xiaobei who said to cooperate with my father. "You know that my family is short of money now." Mao was also in a difficult position. "Your father shouldn't have raised dogs. It's better to raise cows and sheep like my father. I will find my father and ask him to give your family money and not cooperate with Xiaobei," the little boy said angrily. "Impossible. Xiaobei wants to cooperate with others. Who dares to disagree? Look, they are talking." Mao pointed at his father's position. There were a few children there. "I'll go find Xiaobei." The little boy gritted his teeth and said, "You can't stop them. That's Xiaobei, not silly boy and the others like us. Do you want to use your power or money to pressure them? You can catch loaches when you have time. I'm not stupid. Why should I stop them? I'll tell them to cooperate. My family is fine too. You can count me in. That way, you don't have to worry about me not being able to catch loaches with you. Who's worried? I'm not going to play with you." Mao turned around and ran towards his father with the racket. The little boy was shocked. He slapped the table and threw away the racket. He chased after his father and muttered, "You said that you would catch a lot of loach fish. Leave some for us, and give the rest to others in school. You don't keep your word." You won. Mao, you are so good. You can play with your left hand. 15-0. You are first. Xiaobei saw Mao coming over and happily held his hand. Mao was not very happy. He forced a smile and nodded. "He is not used to my left hand. If there is a next time, he will definitely not lose so quickly. He learns very quickly. There are no ifs in a competition. The next time will be the next time. Although friendship is first, it is still like war. Success or failure depends on the hero. If there is an ifs, then perhaps you will practice better next time and win more easily." Xiaobei had already developed the habit of not regretting. She would sum up her failures, but she would not regret what she had done wrong in the past. That was useless. According to her brother and sister, living in a regretful memory would tire one to death, unless one wanted to be a saint. This was because even saints had times when they made mistakes. It was already good enough to be a saint. Hence, Xiaobei and the others did not think about what-ifs. If their brother and sister were not Xiaobao and Cuckoo, then their lives would definitely not be as good as they were now. Would they commit suicide? "You are Xiaobei? You want to cooperate with Mao's father?" The little boy ran over and directly questioned Xiaobei. "Back off." Xiao Yuan stopped him. He did not let the guards come over. Although the other party seemed to be 1 or 2 years older than him, he was taller and stronger. If they really fought, he, who had been trained regularly, could beat up the other party. "What? Can't I ask?" The little boy did not care who the other party was at this moment. "Okay, it's the same if you ask me. Ask." Xiao Yuan did not give in at all. "Okay, do you want to cooperate with Mao's father and let her move? What's the matter? What does it have to do with you?" I made an agreement with her to bring her to catch loach fish. If she moves away, who will catch them? You can't find anyone other than Mao. I can't find anyone. I just can't find anyone." Mao's father sighed and said to the little boy, Huang, come to uncle. Cooperation does not mean moving." The little boy ran over and stood behind Mao's father. "What if we move? If we move, we'll bring you along to catch loaches with Mao. Let's see if your father is willing," Song Dakong said with a smile. "He's willing. I still have an older brother and a younger brother. Xiaobei, my family can also cooperate with you. Count us in." My family raises many cows and sheep, the little boy named Huang Huang said to Xiao Bei. Xiao Yuan, who had always thought that the little boy's attitude was bad, was angry. Before Xiao Bei could speak, he said, "We can't cooperate with just anyone. Mao Mao is good at basketball, so we cooperate with her family. What's good about you? What's bad about me?" Huang Huang retorted angrily. "I know you want to play with Mao Mao," Xiao Yuan said. "Yes, I just want to play with Mao Mao. What's wrong?" Huang Huang did not give in at all. Xiao Yuan. Xiao Bei reminded him, meaning that he did not want to compete with others. In the end, just as she finished shouting, she was touched by her own brother, Xiao Hai, who told her to be quiet. Xiao Yuan scratched his head and said, "Those who are not capable can't play with Mao Mao. In the future, we will play with Mao Mao." Why? Huang did not give in. Because we see Mao Mao play hard and feel that her father is an open-minded and capable person. Therefore, we feel that from a young age to a great age, we can pass on the knowledge to her father and not be biased. If a girl meets here, the road will be wide. Xiao Yuan raised his chin and said to the little boy, "Huang Huang." Huang glared at Xiao Yuan and looked up to meet Mao Mao's expectant eyes. He curled his lips and said, "Childhood sweethearts are always together. The gentleman says peony, and I say lotus." Xiao Yuan often follows Xiao Bei by her side. What is fate? Xiao Yuan blinked his eyes and looked at the boy, Huang, in front of him again. He held his voice and said, "You are too mature. I just want to play with Mao Mao. Don't set a trap for me." Huang looked at Mao Mao and said embarrassedly, "Okay, I'll give you a chance. Let your father come over and talk about cooperation." Xiao Bei decided. With Huang's literary skills, she believed that the adults in his family would not be bad. It was a cooperation, so they had to find a suitable person. Chapter 1255. Mao Mao's father, Song Dakong, went up to the stage with Mao Mao to receive the prize. In addition to a certificate written by the school and several sets of stationery, Xiao Bei and the other 9 also took out a prize. All the children who participated in the competition received a prize, and the prize was very simple, money. According to Xiao Bei, it was useless to give other things, but money was the most practical. Everyone could buy whatever they liked. If they didn't want to buy anything for the time being, they could save the money in the bank or give it to their parents. Sure enough, Xiao Bei's prize was the most popular. The children clamored to have dinner with Xiao Bei and the others, and then go back. There was still a long time before dinner time. On one hand, the children were enthusiastically urging them to stay, and on the other hand, it was time for dinner. After a discussion, the 9 people decided to work directly in the academy. They found Mao Mao's father and Huang's father to talk about cooperation. Then they could confirm the plan of arranging short-term idlers. Mao Mao's father, Song Dakong, was very nervous. He was afraid of being exposed. When he met with the 9 people, he looked around and didn't see the 2 people he might meet. His psychological pressure was reduced a lot. In this way, he was not afraid that one of the other 2 people would have a problem. Thinking of Huang's father coming, Song Dakong knew that the other 2 people might not be needed. The other 2 people's roles were limited, and they were only assisting him in raising the dog. Now that there was another livestock breeder, it would be no problem to match up with his dog. Looking at the 9 little guys sitting opposite him with smiles, Song Dakong had a lot of feelings. He thought silently, "Little guys, you only know how to be happy now. You don't know how much effort Xiao Bao and Cuckoo have put in for you." He thought that he had done enough for the children at home. He even spent money to hire someone to train a girl like Mao Mao, and trained a seemingly useless ping-pong ball. But compared with Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, he seemed to have done a lot worse. Yes, a lot worse. He put his fatherly love on the surface. When he found someone to train with Mao Mao, he told his daughter that if she didn't learn well, it would be a pity for her as a father. In the future, he should learn from how Xiao Bao and Cuckoo treated their younger siblings. It was nothing more than a little effort. Raising a child should be done well. Raising a dog should be done patiently. Raising a dog should be done patiently, and the child should be given more effort. It was not good to leave the child to the teachers of the academy. Hello, Boss Song. We are looking for you, because we want to discuss a business deal with you. How could Xiao Bei know that the person in front of him was deliberately found by his brother and sister? Xiao Yuan and the others also did not know that ever since they were emotionally affected by the mere few days of cooperation, their brother and sister had been thinking about how to divert their attention. Therefore, last night, they inadvertently mentioned that there would be a table tennis match today, and then a series of coincidences were waiting for them to meet. Song Dakong took a deep breath and nodded. He then looked at the door behind him. Seeing that there were still no signs of the other two people, he confirmed that he would be the main body in this cooperation. Then, he sat on the wide chair opposite Xiao Bei. The cushion under his butt was like a sofa, very comfortable, and he could even lean back, putting his hands on the armrest. Song Dakong also showed a professional smile and said, "I have guessed part of the content of the cooperation. Do you need me to send the dog to the areas that have been occupied and ruled by our army? What do you want to drink?" Xiao Bei did not immediately mention the cooperation. "Do you have wine?" Song Dakong was not polite. He knew that he would not be so relaxed if it were a third-grade official sitting in front of him. Of course, the official might not have prepared a comfortable chair or a small folding stool or something. Then, the official would sit in a high position and look down at him, seeking to exert pressure during the negotiation. If it were not for the fear of being seen through, he would not have felt any pressure when facing the Zhang family and the Wang family. It was not that he was disrespectful, but the Zhang family and the Wang family gave him a feeling that they were too considerate. As long as he was a citizen of the Tang Empire, he did not need to worry about being deceived or disrespected when facing them. Xiao Bei was very generous. "Okay, this year we have white wine to drink. You sing. It tastes stronger than red wine. Don't drink too much. Let's drink some red wine." Xiao Bei's last question was to the other 8 siblings. She liked to drink red wine the most. Ever since she got drunk before the new year, she found that it was very interesting to feel dizzy and wanted to drink a few sips whenever she had the chance. "Let's drink fruit juice, shancha juice, with a little bit of alcohol." Xiao Hai did not agree to his sister's request to drink red wine. Usually, his brother and sister gave him a quota of 2 ounces of red wine in 10 days, and they were not allowed to drink more than half ounces at a time. This requirement was much stricter than drinking carbonated drinks, and the inner courtyard did not dare to violate it. As for white wine, unless one was sick and needed some kind of medicine to balance it, they could only drink it. However, one could not get sick just to drink white wine. Illness was not something that could be borne just because one wanted to. "Okay." Xiao Bei compromised. When outside, she had to listen to brother Xiao Ai. Shancha juice was fine, but she could not get drunk. After all, if she wanted to get drunk, she would have to stuff herself to death. Her stomach could not hold it. Someone brought wine and beef jerky to Song Dakong. They talked and ate at the same time. The atmosphere of the negotiation was very relaxed. Xiao Bei drank a mouthful of shancha juice and said, "We have 2 ways to cooperate. One is to buy all your dogs directly, but I don't think you will sell them. Then we will provide you with a second way of cooperation. You use your dogs to invest, and we will pay for other expenses, manpower, and material resources. When the time comes, there will be dividends." Song Dakong did not drink and nodded directly. "I agree with the second way." "Then how many shares do you want? Do you need us to give you some data first?" Xiao Bei and the others were not ready. For example, the size of the ranch, where it was located, how suitable the growth of the grass, and other follow-up protective measures, and so on. Therefore, Xiao Bei and the others discussed that they would listen to Mao Mao's father first, and see if he had any reasonable suggestions. Then, according to the conditions proposed by the other party, they would negotiate to increase or decrease the number of shares. This way, their side would be more proactive. Song Dakong picked up his wine glass and drank a mouthful of white wine. He took a deep breath and said, "It is indeed stronger than red wine. I don't have any requirements. I will cooperate however you want, even if you say that I will give you my dogs for free." Xiao Bei was stunned. She licked her sweet lips and asked kindly, "Aren't you afraid that we will cheat you? What if you suffer a loss?" "I'm not afraid." Song Dakong shook his head. The Zhang and Wang families are both big families and big businesses. They wouldn't be interested in a small business like mine. The only reason you want to cooperate with me is because you want to make some money for yourselves. You wouldn't be targeting me. I don't know how much land you want, but I need to know that all the businessmen who cooperate with you have a good life. Then we have reached an agreement? Why do I feel a little uncomfortable? What kind of negotiation is this? It looks like we have to quickly fill in the details. Don't worry, we will not take advantage of you. We will cooperate as usual and calculate each other's contributions and income. If we find out in the future that we are at a disadvantage in the contract, then we will consider ourselves to be at a disadvantage. If you are the one at a disadvantage, then we can change the contract. Money is earned from others under the condition that we work together. We are not earning money from our partners. Otherwise, the money earned will not be enough. Xiao Bei looked at the others. Everyone felt that this was not a negotiation at all. It was just like chatting. One side did not have any conditions, and the other side had to consider the other's interests. Xiao Bei and the others did not know that the order Song Dakong received yesterday was not to discuss the details of the negotiation with Xiao Bei and the others. Otherwise, there would be two uncertain consequences. One was that Xiao Bei and the others would win the negotiation and be full of confidence. The other was that once they thought of the negotiation, they would be traumatized and become even more irritated. Zhang Xiaobao was so good at psychology, but he could not judge which point he would lean towards. He would not gamble. He had to let his younger siblings win a project comfortably. Previously, they had arranged for 3 people to cooperate with. If they did not meet by chance, then they would immediately have other backup plans. Anyway, no matter what, Xiao Bei and the others would have to move forward on the path of chance encounters without any accidents. At the same time, they also arranged for the rest of the labor force. If the 9 little fellows in the stands did not get any inspiration from the 3 people's conversation, there would be other people who would inadvertently give them inspiration. For Zhang Xiaobao, arranging a series of things was much more difficult than negotiating with his younger siblings. Encourage education was the right way to go. Sometimes it was necessary to suppress children. However, at the same time, they had to immediately create opportunities for the children to build confidence. This was actually a form of encouragement education in disguise. Xiao Bei and the others were in their older brother's scam. They made their own choices among the countless coincidences. They, who were kept in the dark, began to chat with Mao Mao's father. They waited for Huang Huang's father to come so that they could sign a simple agreement together. After that, they got someone to write down the details, and everyone signed the contract. It did not take long before Huang Huang's father was called over. Along the way, he already knew what had happened. He did not value his son's childhood friend very much. The child was still young and did not know how to behave. When he grew up in the future, he might change. Who could decide the future? However, he very much hoped to be able to cooperate with Zhang Xiaobao and the Wang family. When the time came, his cattle and sheep would be able to obtain more benefits. However, he was not sure about the upcoming negotiations. How much benefit should he seek? The people he was going to negotiate with now were 9 children. He had never seen them before, but he heard from others that they were very smart. However, when he thought about it, they would definitely not be able to avoid him during the negotiations. Should he take advantage of this opportunity to gain more benefits? He was afraid that the children would not be able to avoid him. After signing the contract, they would be at a disadvantage. Their older brother would personally deal with him. Even if the contract was not amended, He probably would not be able to make money from this deal. Who knew how many tricks Xiao Bao had up his sleeve? No matter how detailed the contract was, it would not be able to seal all the loopholes, right? As he struggled in his heart, Huang Huang's father rushed all the way to the place. As soon as he was invited into the house, Mao Mao's father, Song Dakong, quickly stood up and said enthusiastically, "Li Xiaojing, you came just in time. As soon as you nodded, I said that I would not mention any conditions. I believe that the Zhang Xiaobao and the Wang family will not do anything wrong. Now that you are here, quickly sign the contract with me and settle the initial intentions. After that, just wait to get rich. Xiao Bei and the others want to do a big business. Yes, drink some wine first. This wine is good. The more you drink, the clearer your mind will be." The person called Li Xiaojiang by Song Dakong was Huang Huang's father. Before he came, he was still thinking about what to do. When he heard what his old friend said, he completely understood. The other party did not want him to negotiate with Xiao Bei and the others. He wanted him to agree directly like the other party. However, after so many years of understanding, the other party was definitely not talking nonsense. There was definitely something wrong, but it was not good to say it now, especially when he said that the more he drank, the clearer his mind would be. He was telling him not to make a mistake. Could it be that Xiao Bei and the others wanted to directly take over his family's business? The kind that uses force? Impossible. Xiao Bei and the others were not short of money. More importantly, he did not do anything wrong. The money that should be donated had been donated, and the roads that should be repaired had been repaired. He did not bully others and did not force others to buy or sell. If they blatantly snatched, their brothers and sisters would not agree. Thinking in his heart, Li Xiaojiang was pushed to another chair by Song Dakong. Song Dakong handed him a glass of wine. There was no hint on his face. When he handed the wine to Li Xiaojiang, the force was transmitted to Li Xiaojiang's hand. "Try it. You made everyone wait for you. Originally, you should be punished. Seeing that you came immediately after hearing the news, I will respect you. We will cooperate more in the future." Song Dakong smiled and joked. Li Xiaojiang nodded vigorously, indicating that he understood. He did not want to refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. After drinking the wine in the glass in one gulp, Li Xiaojiang let out a long breath. He turned to Xiao Bei and the others and said with a smile, just as Dakong said, "I came here to sign the contract and put my fingerprint. I will need you to worry about the rest. We can talk about the conditions." Xiao Bei kindly advised. "My conditions are unconditional. Even if I can't trust others, can I trust you? Not to mention cooperation. Even if you want my livestock, I will send it to you immediately. I will even give you fodder." Li Xiaojiang was no longer worried about the content of the negotiation. He was relaxed. "All of you are so easy to talk to. Well, we will draw up the contract. When the time comes, I will let you see which part is not good. We can change it. It is not a big deal. Let's go to India and the original place of the cannibals to raise livestock. The grass there is good. If we find that the yield of beans, wheat, and rice is much higher than in our country, we can also plant them. When the time comes, we can extract oil and wine. The price of transporting them back is about the same as the local price. The profit will be big because there is no tax." Xiao Bei saw that the other party did not mention the conditions and was a little embarrassed. She introduced more. After her introduction, Li Xiaojiang was interested. He asked, "Xiao Bei, if we transport them back, it will be a lot of transportation, right?" "Not much. First go to the river, and then go to the sea. A ship does not need too many people. Going back and forth will only take a little time. Bean oil and wine can be stored for a long time and will not spoil. In fact, as long as the rice and wheat are not shelled immediately, it is not a problem to store them for 2 or 3 years. There is no need to use a special storage method. If we need something from the Tang Empire, as long as it is not very urgent, there is no need to transport it by land. It is just a small amount of daily necessities. A ship can carry a lot. We have steam engine power. And even if we don't want to transport, the ships have to go there in groups. We have heard from brother and sister that whether it is India, we will try our best to use water transportation. Xiao Bei was very happy to solve the problem of the contract, so she revealed more information that ordinary people could not understand. Then, what are you still asking? Just sign the contract. Song.com saw that Li Xiaojiang still wanted to ask and said with a slightly impatient expression, I don't want to ask about the contract. I want to know more about what I don't know. In the past, can you know the situation that Xiao Bei and the others talked about? Knowledge. You need to listen more, see more, and think more, right, Xiao Bei? The wine in your house is so delicious. Li Xiaojiang glared at Song.com and then asked Xiao Bei with a smile. He did want to know more about the key information. Before, he did not know that Xiao Bao and Cuckoo wanted people to go there to open a ranch, and he did not know that it was tax-free. As for why they wanted to strengthen water transportation instead of land transportation, he had to ask again. Xiao Bei did not answer Li Xiaojiang immediately. She waved her hand and called the servant of the inner yard to her side. After whispering a few words, she nodded to the inner yard, turned around, and gave Li Xiaojiang a bright smile, saying, Okay, ask. Just now I asked Dongshang. I know what can be said and what can't be said. At this moment, both Song Dakong and Li Xiaojiang liked Xiao Bei from the bottom of their hearts. Although she smiled, she was very steady in doing things. She did not even care about the two of them. Frankly speaking, she had to ask the inner yard first if she had something, which meant that she exposed the fact that she was also under control. Ordinary children were not like this. When they took the servants out, they would not be happy even if the servants reminded them, let alone take the initiative to ask them what they could and could not say. It's a pity that she is not born well, Li Xiaojiang muttered quietly. Hearing this, Song Dakong shook his head and thought, Your teaching is not as good as hers. Do you know why I am here to talk about cooperation? I will tell you when we go back so that you can broaden your knowledge. Don't you want to ask? Ask now. Song Dakong also wanted to know, but he did not know what to ask. Li Xiaojiang pondered for a moment. He had to think carefully. He could not directly ask about military operations, nor could he ask about the logistical shortcomings of the Tang Empire. That would make others think otherwise. After thinking for a while, Li Xiaojiang asked, Why don't we use land transportation? Isn't it easy to get to Duoshi from the Turks? Then the Duoshi people built roads for their own material circulation and for the convenience of the army during their rule. How do we use land transportation? Xiao Bei asked. Livestock. Li Xiaojiang answered quickly. Xiao Bei waved his hand. Livestock are better used for farming than for transportation. We don't even have enough logistics in our country. How do we send them out? Ships are much more convenient. We can't use ships to farm, right? Ships can't reach anyone in the country, right? If we use livestock to transport goods over land, there is no problem in the use of logistics resources. No one can find fault with it. However, according to the distribution of all the resources in the country, it will inevitably lead to problems in the allocation of transportation and labor resources, right? Li Xiaojiang looked at Xiao Bei in surprise and then turned to look at the equally surprised Song Dakong. The two of them thought of the same thing at the same time. Is this a child? The words that came out of his mouth were too frightening. Xiao Bei did not care about what they thought and continued. There are two more problems. In fact, it can be said to be one problem. The advantage of using ships for transportation is that we can train captains and crew members, as well as the development of the shipbuilding industry. After they became stronger, they would be able to build better ships and sail them further. They would also be able to reduce mistakes during operations. Skilled workers were treasures in any industry. Next is another main problem. We have livestock to occupy land transportation at any time, but it's not easy to travel on land. There are mountains, rivers, swamps, and so on. When we invade other places in the future, oh no, it's when we have trade and military exchanges with other places in the future. We still need the support of the Navy. No, it's the ocean transportation industry. Brother and sister said that there are many places that are not accessible by land and are full of seawater. Shouldn't we consider the future? For example, the seeds that my family sent people to a very, very far place to bring back are only a small part of them. They are also crossing the sea. It's very cold. If our fleet is powerful enough, we can directly cross the sea and reach there to bring back more things. We can even send people there to take turns to develop them. They will come back after a year or two. Not only can they broaden their horizons, but they can also train people. Song.Kong and Li Xiaojiang were dumbfounded. They nodded repeatedly, like students listening to a teacher. At a certain moment, they chose to ignore Xiao Bei's age. They had broadened their horizons, truly broadened their horizons. It turned out that water transportation involved many things. Truly, when one stood at a different height, one could consider a problem from a different angle. Could it be that Xiao Bao and Cuckoo had been instilling these things into their little brothers and sisters? Were they not afraid of exhausting their children? Many officials of the imperial court would never have thought of such a scheme, right? Then why don't they have people stay in other places for a few more years? Just like you said just now, using ships can promote the development of the shipbuilding industry. If they stay in other places for a few more years, won't they have a better understanding of the place? Song.Kong asked. They're afraid of independence. It takes several months to get there by ship. A group of people going there is actually called colonization. They've been there for a long time, have a good relationship with the natives, and have also obtained some of the great Tang's technology. It's inevitable that they'll feel that it's not worth it to listen to the other side when they're so far away. In a moment of impulse, they'll go independent. Xiao Bei explained the reason. If they dare to go independent, we'll beat them, Li Xiaojiang harshly said. Idle? Giving others a chance to make a mistake is itself making a mistake. The improvement of the system is actually to reduce the possibility of people committing crimes when faced with temptation, right? You can't always think of making others self-aware. Just like the matter of loans, I've already sent someone to investigate. Boss Song can actually get a loan from a bank, and his share is not small. Even without any collateral, he can still get a loan of 4,000 strings of coins. Based on what? Based on the fact that he started to invest in the Chaoyang operation many years ago. Based on the fact that he repaired the bridge and paved the road. Based on what Big Brother said, a person with a sense of social responsibility has a certain degree of credibility. Thus, I've always wanted the local merchants to support the school and give them benefits. Now, it may seem like an exchange of benefits, but as time goes by, it'll gradually become a habit. I feel very sad for merchants who aren't willing to spend this money, but I can't arrest them and punish them. They didn't do anything wrong, so I can only use other benefits to entice them to invest. After saying these words, Xiao Bei recalled that some merchants in other places said that they wouldn't spend money on the school no matter what. She sighed like an adult with a helpless expression on her face. However, no matter how one looked at her when she sighed, she looked very cute. Song.Kong and Li Xiaojiang looked at Xiao Bei's cute appearance, but they couldn't feel happy at all. Li Xiaojiang drank another cup of wine and said angrily, "Some merchants are just not sensible. They only consider the rules set by the imperial court. As long as they don't break the rules, it's fine. As for paying more, that's not okay. In my opinion, they are fools." Kong is investing money in the school because he really likes children. I also invest, but I don't like children. I only like my family's children. I invest money to show off and let others see that my business is big and good. I have money. You said that you earned a lot of money and returned to your hometown in glory. Don't you want to give others some benefits? The rich people in the village know how to build a good house. If I earn money and invest money in the school, won't others praise me more than if I only build a house for myself? I won't talk about the loan. I'll just say that I'm giving money to the school. If something happens to my family one day, who doesn't want to work hard after receiving benefits from me? When it was Xiao Bei nodding, Xiao Yuan and the rest were equally surprised. Xiao Bei's thinking was too simple. Today, I spend money to let your child go to school. Tomorrow, if my child falls, you have to carry it back. You owe me. It was a very typical idea of using kindness to get repaid. But if you say that he was wrong, he really wasn't wrong, because he was the one who showed kindness first. If you received benefits from him, shouldn't you repay him? It was a simple exchange of interests in social behavior. It was simple, realistic, and always had an effect. That was why people hated ungrateful and repaying kindness with ingratitude. All right, I support you to continue thinking this way. You are clear about the problem of colonization. Do you have any other questions? If you miss this village, you won't have this opportunity again. We can't tell you every time. Xiao Bei asked Song Dakong and Li Xiaojiang again. He was in a good mood today, so he said more. As long as he didn't say anything that really needed to be kept secret, it was fine. I don't. Song Dakong didn't think much. He was a little more foolish than Li Xiaojiang, but he came at a good time. If it were another era, his dog would have been gone. I do. Li Xiaojiang sat up straight. What I'm asking is, if you only consider the situation of colonization and rebellion, how can you do it? How can you prevent people from rebelling in faraway places and also obtain more benefits there? It involves the research and application of technology. Now you see the steam engine ships. In the future, there will not only be ships, but also, what else can I tell you? In any case, if you want to go there from the Tang Empire in the future, it won't take a few months, just a few days. The duration of colonization depends on the time of travel between the two places, the difference between the military technology of the colonized place and that of the Tang Empire, and whether there is a comprehensive foundation for social development at that time, including a monetary system. Xiao Bei explained again. She actually wanted to say more, but she remembered this point. Usually, when she listened to her brother and sister talk like they were just chatting, in fact, there were many meanings behind it. Just as Li Xiaojiang was about to hear what was better than ships, they suddenly changed the topic. He felt very uncomfortable, but he accepted it. Obviously, what they wanted to say was not suitable for him to hear. Looking at the wine in his glass, Li Xiaojiang shook his head. I have no more questions. Since we are cooperating to open a ranch in other places, do you need me to send a few people? Their families all have businesses. Xiao Bei did not answer immediately. Instead, she discussed with the others in a low voice. After a quarter of an hour, when Li Xiaojiang was a little drunk, Xiao Bei sat back down and said, "No, we can't take up too many resources. Our identities don't allow it. What we can do is to go there first and set an example for others, but we can't monopolize it." Then, do you have other things you need us to do? Li Xiaojiang wanted to improve their relationship further. You raise livestock in your family, right? Xiao Bei asked. Seeing the other nodding, she said happily, "Yes, raising livestock is really good. Tomorrow, no. Tonight, you call the breeding technicians in your family over to my restaurant. I have something for them to do." "What about me?" Song Dakong asked. You raise your dog well." It is estimated that in 3 months or 5 months, your family can let the dog breed again. Don't be afraid of spending money. I will give it to you. The more dogs, the better. After all, people are too busy. Xiao Bei gave Song Dakong another order. Chapter 1256. After listening to Song Dakong and Li Xiaojiang talking about the local people, he ordered people to speed up the details of the contract. Xiao Bei and the other 8 decided to have dinner at the academy. At the request of several representative children, they planned to eat canned food at night. Xiao Bei asked people to go back and bring all kinds of canned food, but he didn't know what was delicious in the canned food. When the evening came, the children in the academy were as happy as a festival. They surrounded Xiao Bei and the other 8 who knew they couldn't have a steady meal, singing and dancing. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who were supposed to wait for their younger brothers and sisters to have dinner together at home, didn't eat in the restaurant when they saw that the children had dinner in the school. Instead, they disguised themselves and went to the Izhou pier together. The lanterns and torches at the pier had lit up a large area in advance. The ships didn't stop because of the sunset. The ships that needed to rest had special places to park. The real loading and unloading area was very busy with people coming and going. In the process of any organized mass transportation of goods, there will always be people who find opportunities to make more money. The income gap between social groups will gradually widen. Generally speaking, people with flexible minds will always make more money than those who only know how to work hard. The development of human beings is ahead of the development of animals, because the brains of animals are replaced by strength in many cases. Thus, the source of polarization is formed. Zhang Xiaobao whispered to Wang Wan beside him when he saw people carrying things up and down. After saying that, Zhang Xiaobao shook his head, as if he felt that he was a little out of touch with the masses. Now, the first thing he thought of when he saw something was not the closest atmosphere between the scenery and society, but the root cause from the perspective of a ruler, as well as the various social effects and solutions in the process. Wang Wan saw Zhang Xiaobao's expression and knew what he was thinking. So she said, "If you always think like this, you will die of exhaustion. Don't you think the busy workers are full of happiness and hope for the future? Well, let's not care about the social problems. I'm here today to see how normal people live. I'm a normal person. Yes, I'm a normal person. I'm really a normal person," Zhang Xiaobao muttered. Suddenly, he took 2 steps forward and helped a worker to steady the goods that were about to slide off his shoulder. He smiled and said, "You're welcome," as the worker thanked him in surprise and fear. Wang Wan covered her mouth and chuckled. "Look, you're mumbling. You can continue to say that you're a normal person, but if you say it to others one by one, you're definitely not a normal person. Look at which mentally ill person would say that they're mentally ill. I really need to adjust myself. Otherwise, if I think about too many abstract things all day, I will become a professional philosopher in the future. Let's go. There's a store selling liangpi over there. Let's try it." Zhang Xiaobao rubbed his head and chuckled. He pulled Wang Wan to a stall selling liangpi. There was a small 2-wheeled cart. When the cart stopped, the handrail at the back was propped up with a piece of wood with a groove to keep the cart balanced. Next to the car were 2 open folding tables and a dozen or so stools. This was a temporary dining area. It was only about 60 meters away from the dock. Sometimes, when the wind was strong, the dust would be blown over by the wind when the goods were being loaded and unloaded. But whether it was the people selling liangpi or the people eating it, they didn't seem to care about the dust. They held bamboo bowls and slurped with their chopsticks. 1 serving, add more garlic juice. Zhang Xiaobao handed over 2 copper coins and chose 1 serving. Wang Wan looked around and found a wooden stool that someone had moved over to use as a stool. There was no one there at the moment, so she ran over to occupy the space. Soon, a serving of liangpi was stuffed into Zhang Xiaobao's hand. Sure enough, there were 2 spoons of garlic juice in it. "Do you like to eat garlic?" Wang Wan asked. "It's not that I like to eat garlic. I'm just worried that if I don't ask for more garlic juice, she will give me less liangpi. Look, some of her liangpi are already in the bowl, and some are left unshaven. Just now, when I asked for more garlic juice, she scraped it." Zhang Xiaobao explained to Wang Wan. Wang Wan didn't understand and looked at Zhang Xiaobao in confusion. Zhang Xiaobao could only continue. Usually, people who set up stalls have a habit, and that is they're afraid that it will be crowded, so they prepare some in advance. You know this, right? But when it comes to preparation, liangpi isn't prepared piece by piece like the noodles. The difference isn't big. Liangpi is scraped from a large lump of starch jelly. Whether it's strips or slices depends on the tool she uses. If it's prepared beforehand, very few sellers are willing to put more into the bowl. Only those who seem to be very familiar with the jelly will give more. On the other hand, those who are familiar with the jelly are usually fond of it and have a big mouth. If you give less, they will complain. She's not afraid that you will make trouble, but she will find it annoying. Those who are willing to choose the jelly in advance are usually in a hurry to eat and don't care if it's more or less. I asked for garlic juice to prove that I'm a person who eats a lot, so she was afraid that I would argue with her, so she specially scraped it for me. I compared it, and it's really a little more. Wang Wan nodded repeatedly as she listened. She picked up her chopsticks and ate 2 mouthfuls. She smiled and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "You deliberately put in so much effort just to eat a little more." A gust of wind blew the dust over. Zhang Xiaobao quickly picked up the bowl and put it under his clothes. He turned sideways to avoid the wind and said, "I didn't put in any effort. I really thought of doing this naturally. Look over there." Wang Wan looked over and saw a well-dressed lady arguing with the seller of Yangpi. "Give me more sesame paste, I'll buy yours." "Did you forget that I love sesame paste the most?" "Too much, too much. If you give more, you can just eat sesame paste. Sesame paste is getting more and more expensive now. Even if I give you more, it won't cover the cost. I'll sell it at a loss," the seller said to the lady in the same loud voice. Wang Wan looked at the wind and asked Zhang Xiaobao to take out the bowl. She asked doubtfully, "Sesame paste is expensive? Does that mean that sesame oil is also starting to become expensive?" "And sesame? It's expensive. It's just a little more expensive. There's no need to consider the cost. It's just a saying. This is the real life of a normal person. It seems that I'm a normal person." Zhang Xiaobao also ate 2 mouthfuls and said, "You mean to say that I'm not a normal person? Since it's expensive, why don't you care about it?" Wang Wan grabbed the bowl and started to eat. "I don't care about the price of sesame. For a period of time, the price of sesame won't go down at all. I can't force it down. That's against the rules of the market. It's a non-essential consumable. As long as the price of salt, oil, and grain doesn't fluctuate beyond the normal range, I won't ask about it. It's because we need to transport things from other places during the war, which increases the number of people moving around in the local area for a period of time. The local grain is enough to support the consumption of the people. Originally, the Chengdu area was a large production area. Otherwise, it wouldn't dare to be called Chengdu. It's a pity that it hasn't been Chengdu. It always stays in this name with a slightly inferior status." After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he grabbed the bowl again and drank some soup. It was sour and sweet, very satisfying. But to the extent that it's not a situation of inferior status, has never appeared. It can't become a capital, but its influence has always been widespread. It's because the environment and water transportation are developed. Yizhou's Liangpi is different from other places. How can there be so much soup? Wang Wan looked at Zhang Xiaobao drinking another mouthful of soup and asked casually. Zhang Xiaobao burped and smiled. "It's not that there's a lot of Liangpi soup in Yizhou. It's a soup that's specially mixed with a little sugar and a little vinegar. The cost is increased, but the sales are also increased." Wang Wan thought about it, but she really couldn't figure out why this was done. Zhang Xiaobao didn't explain. Instead, he shouted at a person who was also holding a bowl and wanted to squat down to eat. He asked, "Brother, is her soup good?" "It's good, it's good. When you're tired from work, you should have a bowl. It can quench your thirst and fill your stomach. Otherwise, when you're hungry, you won't have the energy to work if you eat too much. If you don't eat, it'll be even more boring. After a bowl of liangpi, you can continue to work. This is called efficiency, little brother." The person turned around and said. He also taught Zhang Xiaobao what efficiency was. Zhang Xiaobao nodded repeatedly, as if he had been taught something. He gave the person a thumbs up. With a smile on his face, the person found a relatively sheltered place and squatted down to eat. After 2 mouthfuls, he got up and ran to the stall to ask for more soup. Wang Wan put down her chopsticks and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "You're really interesting. You even cooperated with others. Comrade Xiaobao, tell me, did you learn what efficiency is just now?" "No." Zhang Xiaobao shook his head. Who dares to say that he knows how to maximize efficiency? All efficiency improvement plans are just plans. No one dares to say that their plan is the best because there are still uncertainties. Do you want to calculate all the probabilities clearly? It's just like how no one knows how much rain a certain cloud in the sky can turn into. I've been walking on the path of increasing efficiency, but there's no end in sight. Wang Wan lightly clapped her hands twice as if she was applauding Zhang Xiaobao. Looking at the soup in the bowl, she also ran over to ask for more. When the person was unhappy and added a large spoonful of soup, Wang Wan embarrassedly took out a copper coin and gave it to the person. In the end, the person added another spoonful of soup and garlic juice. Wang Wan also drank a mouthful of soup and smacked her lips twice as she said to Zhang Xiaobao, "I ate a stomach full of dust. The situation of our hygiene is really worrying." "What hygiene? Didn't you taste it? This soup was boiled first and then cooled. There's the taste of seasoning in it, not star anise powder directly. Firewood is not valuable. And the seller is also afraid that the people working at the docks will have a stomachache. What's there to be afraid of? Let the white blood cells in your body take care of it. Don't you usually breathe dust? Especially the roads in Tang, they are all made of earth and stone, and very few of them are cement. The Ministry of Works produces a lot of paraffin, and the most important thing is to get them to produce asphalt as soon as possible. I realize that I've become abnormal again. Today, I'm not thinking about other things. I'm just looking, listening, and chatting with people. Actually, you should ask her for more liangpi. It's just a copper coin. You don't have to buy soup. She probably feels guilty now and keeps looking at you." Zhang Xiaobao did not look at the person selling liangpi at all. Wang Wan looked back. Sure enough, the person was looking at her from the corner of his eyes. She could not help but sigh. "Xiaobao, why are you so familiar with the common folks' things? Then why didn't she take the initiative to add some liangpi for me?" Because at that moment, the greed in her heart won over the idea of a fair trade. But she will probably ask you later if you still want more soup, but she will definitely not give you liangpi. So we can't stand on the moral high ground and attack her. She is also kind in her heart. Xiaobao's eyes were fixed on the person who was eating the liangpi. That person was eating very slowly, unlike before when he drank the soup quickly and asked someone to refill it. Wang Wan sat back down and followed Zhang Xiaobao's gaze. She asked, "Why are you looking at him?" "I'm getting the same satisfaction from him. He ate very slowly because he wanted to savor the liangpi. I can ask him to do something," Zhang Xiaobao said. Wang Wan looked. Sure enough, that person was eating very happily. She looked back at Zhang Xiaobao. "What do you want him to do?" "Sell liangpi," Zhang Xiaobao answered. Chapter 1257. You want to sell cold jelly? Wang Wan didn't believe it. Yes. Zhang Xiaobao nodded affirmatively. Do you have nothing to do? If it wasn't for Zhenla, we would be at the front line somewhere. We are staying in Izhou because we are worried that the garrison in Annan can't withstand the attack of Zhen La's army. When the war starts, we will immediately take all the armed personnel in our family to that place for emergency help. Why don't you take advantage of your free time to think about national affairs and come here to sell cold jelly? Your ability shouldn't be used on a small business in a city. Wang Wan thought that Zhang Xiaobao personally selling cold jelly was a waste of talent. Zhang Xiaobao took the chopsticks and sucked the liangpi in his mouth. He looked at the sky as if he was savoring the taste. I just found out that there is no mustard. It's good that there is no mustard. So the people working at the docks don't have fast blood flow, and eating mustard will increase the incidence of cardiovascular diseases. I'm asking you a question. Why did you say mustard? Wang Wan looked at the person who was squatting and eating, afraid that he would leave after eating. Well, you ask and I answer. Don't you think that not going to the front line is more of a deterrent to the cannibals? Staying in Izhou can take care of the whole front line. Our guards can't be directly used to attack one side to complete the tactical arrangement, right? Our soldiers should be used at the critical moment. When the team is pulled out, there is only one battle strategy, which is to attack. And it must be unstoppable and invincible. It's not a lightning battle, but a thunderous battle, crushing all the way. If you really play a defensive counterattack when the newspaper reports and the people see, oh, God of War, Cuckoo can't beat them, right? So we should just stay here and wait for the time to move. What does that have to do with you selling cold jelly? Wang Wan admitted that Zhang Xiaobao was right. But what does being stationed in Ezhou have to do with cold jelly? I want to be a normal person. I really have nothing to do recently, except to plot against my younger brother and sister and set up a trap for them. I can't continue to make national policies, and I don't have any good policies at the moment. Is cold jelly bad? Do I have to sell my face? It's too expensive, right? Zhang Xiaobao seemed to be giving an explanation, but his purpose was different from Wang Wan's question. Burning newspapers at the grave? Who are you trying to fool? You set a trap for Xiao Bei and the others. I know. This is your old profession. You used to do this when you cheated people in the past. You gave people chance after chance, and in the end, they fell into your trap. The only difference was that when you were scheming against Aaron, you had to go in a bigger circle and involve more karma. I don't object to you using trickery on your younger siblings. Using it for good is good. Using it for evil is evil. Then why don't you trick more people? Deceive them in a good way. Wang Wan admired Zhang Xiaobao's ability to make connections, but she didn't want to see him use his ability to sell cold jelly. And from the way Xiaobao instantly thought of lying to his younger siblings, she could tell that Xiaobao was really used to it. That kind of smooth arrangement was the best interpretation of his former identity. Fortunately, she was watching over him and reached an agreement to not let him do anything to his own people. Otherwise, it might not have been a big deal. Xiaobao used to cheat people because the country system was too stable. Unlike now, as long as he showed his ability, he could easily gain the recognition of the upper echelons. Li Longji would make an exception and promote him. This was an era that was used to making exceptions. At that time, Xiaobao probably wouldn't be able to walk the right path. Many people would want to take advantage of him and suppress him. The upper echelons of the country wouldn't care about his ability. Or rather, they would only care when he had great achievements. For example, when he finally returned to the country, the upper echelons finally cared. But it was too late. He came back to bury his bones in his hometown. But it wasn't the absolute upper echelons, but the upper echelons wanted to take his money and convict him. Then they would secretly release him to do things for some people. The meaning was that if they didn't kill you, you would be indebted to them. So at that time, Xiaobao had to take an unconventional approach to achieve his goal. Now, the great Tang was much more flexible in selecting talents. There were disadvantages, but there were also advantages. With Xiaobao's love for his people, he wouldn't continue to be so ruthless. Who knows? Anyway, she was in charge of him now. His abilities were all used to treat his own people well and treat outsiders badly. Moreover, when he did things, it was very reassuring. Even if it was a small matter, it had a deep meaning. For example, selling cold jelly? Thinking of this, Wang Wan came back to her senses and placed her hand on Zhang Xiaobao's hand. She smiled sweetly and said gently, Hubby, is there something you haven't told me? Zhang Xiaobao couldn't help but tremble. He became nervous. No, I was just thinking about what you said just now. You said that my ability shouldn't be used on a city. In the past, we discussed that the country has many experts. The real experts are quite capable. If they put down their bodies, they can easily make a county rich. At that time, I mentioned it before. But after their status rose, they forgot about the things below and only thought about fighting for power. They all thought that they were in charge of the country's affairs and not a county or city. That was a waste of talent. They became selfish. In fact, how many counties are there in the country? They have so many people. Let's just say that they need 3 to 5 years to solve 1% of the poverty in the county. Then they can lead the surrounding counties and provide a model for other similar counties. In 2 generations, the entire country will be revitalized. However, they were unwilling. The composition and promotion structure of the local officials also determined the degree of local construction. Local officials were not allowed to hold the position of the head of a local department. The young foreign officials were gilded, while the old ones were retired. Now, you can treat me as one of those experts. What I need to do is to calm down. As long as I have time, I will plan for a small group of people in a city. If I don't do it, I will be idle. If I do something, I will gain something." After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he removed his hand from Wang Wan's hand and used the fastest speed to gulp down the bowl of cold jelly. He also drank the soup until there wasn't a drop left. He put the bowl down, gasped for breath, and showed a sincere expression to Wang Wan. Wang Wan pursed her lips and smiled. She put her hand on his hand again. "Hubby, look, the moon is so round today." Zhang Xiaobao looked up at the sky. It was the third day of the Lunar New Year, and the moon had just appeared not long ago. He nodded. "Yes, I can clearly see Chang feeding the rabbits. The moon is like a silver plate, and the moonlight is like water. The reflection in the river is broken and condensed with the river. The quiet environment is like a cauldron, and the lights are shining brightly. It is quiet and noisy. Haha, if a Tang moonlight is written like you, Lao Zhu will be scolded to death." Wang Wan was amused by Zhang Xiaobao's words. "Do you think that if you don't write like me, no one will scold you? What I said does not seem to be logical at first glance, but from another perspective, it shows the unity and opposition of contradictions. For example, the boundless blue sky was filled with large patches of dark clouds. You shouldn't question why there were dark clouds in the blue sky, and why there were large patches of them. You should think that the sky was indeed blue, and there was no end to it. Then, a group of dark clouds came over, large patches of them. In other words, if you draw, you first draw a blue sky without a single cloud, and then you draw dark clouds. In this way, you are not wrong, right? As for how to adjust the color, that is a matter of skill. However, you cannot say that the sky is not blue because there are dark clouds, but that when you look at it, the color of the blue sky is covered by the dark clouds." Zhang Xiaobao did not blush at all as he justified his statement. "Then let's talk about the cold powder, shall we?" Wang Wan did not continue to discuss the moon with Zhang Xiaobao. "This big brother, are you done eating? Do you want another bowl? I will treat you." Zhang Xiaobao stood up and walked behind the person who was eating the cold powder slowly. He slapped the person's back, causing the person to cough. There are still 2 more mouthfuls. The person who was slapped was unhappy. Zhang Xiaobao retracted his hand and scratched his head. "Sorry, I saw wrongly. Big brother, please continue eating. I want to treat you to another bowl." This person really did not care about being slapped. He reluctantly ate the remaining 2 mouthfuls of cold powder and raised his head to drink the soup. "I say, little brother, next time be more careful. If it is someone with a bad temper who wants to beat you up, with your small physique, you will be beaten up with 2 slaps. Yes, it is hard to find a good person like Big Brother. Do you still want to eat? I will treat you." Zhang Xiaobao did not correct the person's words. If he used weapons, he would instantly beat up such a person. Instead, he asked if the person still wanted to eat. The person shook his head. "No, if I continue eating, it will delay my work. If I eat too much, I will not be able to use my strength." "Little brother, did you bring your wife out to play?" "Yes." Zhang Xiaobao nodded. "It is getting hotter and hotter. My wife at home said that she wanted to come out, so I did not dare to not come out. I was afraid." Wang Wan looked at him indifferently. She did not explain or hide anything. She wanted to know what Xiaobao was playing at. The person wiped his mouth with his sleeve. "No, it is not good to be afraid of your wife. Men do big things. If you are afraid of your wife, it is because she is soft. Yes. Big Brother is right. Just like when Big Brother went to ask for the soup, the cold jelly seller was obedient and said that she would give it to you immediately. At home, she must also listen to Big Brother." Zhang Xiaobao said. No. The person nervously denied. "I do not live with Gui. She is not my wife. We are not close." "Not close? But I just saw her scrape a few more times for you. When you asked her to add the soup, she first used a spoon to scrape the side to get rid of the little bit of foam. She scooped it gently, afraid that she would hand over the sediment at the bottom. When my wife went to ask for the soup, she did not do that." Zhang Xiaobao was just short of directly saying, You were flirting with me with your eyes, flirting and laughing with me just now. When? The person was anxious. You did not? Big brother, there were 2 empty seats at the table in front. Why didn't you take them? Why did you have to squat here to eat? And, big brother, the bowl you used is different from ours. Our bowl is sawed from thick bamboo. The one in your hand is made from pottery, right? It has been placed next to the cart selling cold jelly. There is a cover on it. Zhang Xiaobao said with a smile. He even winked at the person, meaning that he understood. The person was even more flustered. He glanced at the place where the cold jelly was sold and stuttered. I thought the bamboo was dirty. I saw that there was something to play with, so I used it. I really have nothing to do with Gue. I know. Big brother, don't worry. You and Gue have a pure relationship. I understand. Big brother, listen to me. I am speaking nonsense. Why didn't you take the table? Because you want to leave the table for someone else. Why did you squat here? Because from this angle you can see the side of Gue, who is selling cold jelly. It is so beautiful. Zhang Xiaobao continued. If you say that again, I will beat you. The person directly reached out to grab Zhang Xiaobao's collar. Chapter 1258. In the blink of an eye, Wang Wan made a hand gesture to the surrounding people. Zhang Xiaobao reached out and grabbed the other person's wrist. Big brother, let's talk things out. What are you afraid of? Everyone loves beauty. The person tried to struggle, but found that he was not as strong as Zhang Xiaobao. At first, he was shocked, but after looking at Zhang Xiaobao carefully, he did not swing his other hand that was holding the bowl. He said to Zhang Xiaobao, little brother, a real person doesn't show off. Even so, you can't slander Gue. Big brother is so strong. As expected of the leader of several people at the docks. You're good at work. Zhang Xiaobao said as he let go of the other person's hand. Wang Wan looked on calmly, not worried at all. The other person was just one person. Xiaobao could deal with him easily. If the other person was an enemy, he would have been knocked down in an instant. She and Xiaobao had a systematic training method. Moreover, they started training from a young age. The nutrition and equipment were all kept up. Not to mention Xiaobao, she could deal with that person easily. Unfortunately, the training method from a young age was not universal. For example, Xiao Bei and the others did not receive proper training until they were 4 years old. Otherwise, it would cause bone damage. Children were unable to accurately express their body's condition and did not have equipment to follow up with. They were unlike her and Xiaobao, who knew when to stop training. If other children were to train like this at 1 year old, they would definitely fail. They did not know how much their body could bear. Zhang Xiaobao did not dwell on the details of the other person attacking first. Instead, he continued to ask in a friendly voice, Big brother, I'm just curious. At the same time, I have some thoughts. Do you have that kind of relationship with Gue? Is she your brother's wife, or is she a widow? How did you know? The person was shocked. He lowered his head and sighed. Sigh. You're right. She's the wife of one of my brothers. She's also a widow. It's been 5 years. That brother of mine has been dead for 5 years. When he was carrying a log, he accidentally fell off the pedal and was crushed to death by the log he was carrying. He left behind a 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old boy. Zhang Xiaobao revealed a sad expression and explained softly, Big brother, I've said something that makes you sad. But I have to say that I don't want to make you suffer. I have a way to make other people's lives better. Normally, when buying starch jelly, there shouldn't be extra soup. Furthermore, it should be a mixture of sweet, sour, and salt. This was used to quench one's thirst and to relieve one's summer heat, especially starch jelly with broad bean powder. Drinking a bowl of it during normal work would make one feel very comfortable and could restore one's physical strength to a certain extent. She gave you more cold jelly because she was familiar with you. She gave you a special bowl because she was close to you. You didn't take up a spot because you wanted to leave it for someone else. You squatted here because you could look at her when she wasn't looking. You gave her money because you didn't want to make her life difficult. She came to sell starch jelly with soup specially prepared for people like you who worked at the docks. Looking at her figure, she had children. She sold things at a place where a group of men worked and didn't receive any teasing or harassment. This in itself was abnormal. So, either she was the wife of one of your brothers who worked at the docks, or she was a widow, and a widow who was protected by you guys. Moreover, she only prepared another bowl, and that bowl was for you to use. If you say that there's no relationship between you two, who would believe it? Either she needs you to take care of her husband, or there's only a layer of paper between you two, but no one is willing to break it. Now I know. You think that if you say it out loud, you'll let down your dead brother, but you're afraid that she can't take care of 2 children by herself. She doesn't want you to look down on her and think that she's a shameless woman. After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he sighed. There were too many helplessness in the world. Just like the song, the joys and sorrows of the world were as easy as turning over one's hand. Looking at the green mountains and blue waters, one can't help but wonder. Wang Wan also stood up and came to Zhang Xiaobao's side. She looked at the person in front of her and didn't say anything. She didn't want to comfort him, because he seemed to be strong enough. She didn't want to say that Gue who sold starch jelly, was suffering, because the gentleness in the heart of this man who worked at the docks didn't need to be stirred up. This person was about to go silly. He stared at Zhang Xiaobao in shock. After a while he swallowed his saliva and asked, "You, since you guessed it, then tell me, other than the fact that I feel sorry for my dead brother, what other reason is there that I don't want to tell her?" It's because she doesn't have much pressure to survive. Her daughter and son are taken care of by the school. Usually, she can get a sum of money from a court every month. She doesn't have to pay taxes for her business. Especially recently, the number of bailiffs patrolling outside her house at night has increased significantly. Zhang Xiaobao replied, "Brother, how do you know all of this?" This person was obviously stunned by Zhang Xiaobao's words. It was too amazing. How was this possible? The former is the welfare of the court. The latter is because the local officials want to keep their position and their heads. Tell me, when Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were in Izhou, what would happen if someone knocked on the widow's door in the middle of the night? The heads of the yamen would pay a heavy price for this. Therefore, you feel that she can live well without you. So you don't have the courage to say what's in your heart. She's such a good woman, living with 2 children, doing things quickly, and can support herself. She's also not bad looking. The burden of supporting the family shouldn't be put on her. Otherwise, it's the incompetence of all men in the world, right? Zhang Xiaobao said again. This person nodded repeatedly. For a moment, he was at a loss. He felt that this person, who was younger than him, was too terrifying. What did he usually do? Wang Wan, on the other hand, had a blissful look on her face. It couldn't be like this. Why did Xiaobao always give people the impression that he was so smart and considerate? It was just eating liangpi, a very normal thing, but it actually gave him so much information. It seemed that those who were cheated in the past were not wronged at all. Your opponent is too strong. It's not your fault. After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he turned around and was about to leave. This person reached out and grabbed Zhang Xiaobao's arm. "Brother, my dear brother, give me an idea. You said that you would help me just now. Like you said, I really like Gue. In fact, many of my brothers know. They even advised me to take the initiative when we were drinking. But I don't dare. I haven't married yet. I always feel that I am not good enough for Gue. This woman is really too good. Tell me, as a person who works at the docks, what can I give her? Then do you know what she wants?" Zhang Xiaobao asked back. This person shook his head. Zhang Xiaobao thought about it. He did not tell this person that Gue wanted a shoulder and someone to rely on. Instead, he said to this person, "I hope that you can continue to work at the docks and lead a group of people to do things well. Also, gradually expand the team. Do the children in her family like you? It's okay. I used to go to baby's candy house to buy things for them to eat. It's a pity that baby's candy house doesn't sell cakes anymore. Her daughter's birthday is coming soon. During the new year, I promised to buy her a big birthday cake. This is troublesome. This person began to worry about something that seemed very small to an adult. Wang Wan pulled Zhang Xiaobao's clothing. Zhang Xiaobao immediately said, "There will be cakes, and there will be sodas." "Why do you sound so awkward?" "Big brother, don't worry. I will help you think of a way. You can see that I don't have bad intentions. Just now, when my wife asked for soup, she gave me an extra copper coin. I won't take advantage of others. I will ask Gui to return it." When the other person heard this, he thought that they were complaining about the copper coin. Don't. Zhang Xiaobao quickly stopped him. "You don't like a copper coin. The future is long. Big brother, how about I provide you with a feasibility report?" "Don't talk nonsense." Wang Wan rolled her eyes at Zhang Xiaobao. "What feasibility report? Big brother doesn't understand. Just tell me what to do. I believe that big brother will listen to you." Yes. Sister-in-law knows more. Brother, you have to listen to your wife more in the future. This person smiled at Wang Wan. There was no expression in his eyes that should not be there. Wang Wan was so beautiful that normal men would not be able to look straight at her. Perhaps some perverted people could look straight at her, but if they knew who Wang Wan was, they would probably regret it very much. Zhang Xiaobao really wanted to scold the other person. Just now, you said not to be controlled by your wife. In the blink of an eye, you change sides? Looking at the busy situation at the docks, Zhang Xiaobao said to this person, "How much longer do we have to finish work?" "I don't know. If you are not tired, continue working. If you are tired, take a break. Now that there are many boats coming and going, take the opportunity to earn more money. Other than me, there are 22 brothers who have families. Children are actually harder to raise than before." "Why are they hard to raise? Isn't there a school to take care of them?" Wang Wan asked. "Sister-in-law, you asked a good question. When I said raise them, I meant raise them well, not raise them. It is easy to raise them, and there is no need for the family to fork out money. The family has to buy books for the children to read, have to specially boil water for them to bathe every day, have to make beautiful new clothes, have to prepare good candles, or else the adults will lose face. People will say, 'Look at the imperial court, Xiaobao, Cuckoo, and the others helping you raise your children, but you don't do anything for them. Whose children are they?' I don't have children, so I raised Gui-er's children as my own, especially her son. The last time he called me father, Gui-er was still there. I was so scared that I ran out of her house without even putting on my shoes." This person's face immediately turned red when he talked about what he thought was embarrassing. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head. "This stupid thing. The woman already taught her child to call you father, but you actually ran away. Your IQ and EQ need to be tested. You are a weirdo." "That, big brother. Do you know how to do carpentry?" Zhang Xiaobao could only change the topic. "I don't." "You don't know how to saw wood and make a table?" "Of course, I don't know how to do carpentry. Carpenters need to carve, engrave, paint, inlay, and carve." This person answered honestly. Zhang Xiaobao suddenly understood. Yes, it is not easy to be a carpenter these days. You need to have professional qualities. The money you earn is not much, but the relevant skills are definitely not lacking. Wealth. It is the wealth of treasures. Zhang Xiaobao then said to this person, "How about this, big brother? See if you can let your brothers take a break. I will go back with you to Gui-er's house and make some things. After that, we can earn more money. From tomorrow onwards, Gui-er will not have to come out to sell herself." "No, if she doesn't come out to sell, what will she do? People will become stupid if they are bored." This person disagreed. "Please listen to me slowly," Zhang Xiaobao said as if he was singing. Chapter 1259. "Brother, I still don't know your surname," the other party asked Zhang Xiaobao. "My surname is Zhang, and my name is Xiaobao." "What's your surname, big brother?" Zhang Xiaobao replied. "Brother, don't joke around. My surname is Lu, and my name is Pan. My father found someone to give it to me. He said it means tenacity or something. Anyway, my life is very tough. What's your name? The person who called himself Lu Pan asked again. My name is actually Zhang Xiaoyu. Brother Lu, shouldn't you find someone to come back? Zhang Xiaobao had no choice but to make up a fake name. Come back. Little brother Zhang, do you really have a way to make money? Lu Pan was still hesitating. Really, making money is very easy, especially small amounts. Zhang Xiaobao had a confident expression. Lu Pan was still worried and hesitant. Zhang Xiaobao simply took out a handful of money and stuffed it into Lu Pan's hand. Brother Lu, here. Take it as a deposit. If I'm wrong, the money is yours. Lu Pan glanced at the money in his hand and was shocked. He looked at the denomination of the notes. They were all 10 strings of coins. Luo estimated that there were at least 300 strings of coins. He quickly stuffed the money back. I believe you. Wait a moment. Sister-in-law Gur, take it too. I still need her help. Zhang Xiaobao reminded again. Okay, I'll take it all. Lu Pan saw that the other party took out a lot of money and thought about himself. He realized that it was not worth it to be cheated once. Lu Pan first ran to the stall selling liangpi and told Gue. He threw down the bowl and ran to the dock to discuss the handover. Under normal circumstances, it was not easy to find someone to take over the work halfway. If the work was not done well, for example, there was a problem with the stacking, and the person behind took over, earned a portion of the money, and took all the responsibility. That would be stupid. Lu Pan probably wanted to give up all the money and then use his reputation as a dock worker to give the benefits to others. He would then be able to recruit his brothers back. Xiaobao, what are you trying to do? Wang Wan still did not understand. She only knew that Xiaobao thought of a way to make money with liangpi. To her, it was normal. The question was whether the return was proportional to the effort. What else can we do? Give a demonstration. As the saying goes, I'll make an example and let everyone see that a simple industry can also play well with the 12 national policies. Most of the people are still observing. When they see that I'm successful, they'll be willing to follow suit. Under normal management, the role of a leader was very obvious. Many things were actually ruined by the officials. Some of the officials were kind enough to govern the area, but the other officials were not thinking about the situation of the area, but how to cause trouble, and thus determined their own position. In the end, when someone raised a contrary opinion, not only did this group of officials not humbly accept the correction, but they also talked about great principles. For example, if they wanted to do more, they had to protect their position and let themselves be in a better place. Or they might say something like, in the Jianghu, one has no choice. Well, you are in the Jianghu. In order to do more things that benefit the common people, you first have no choice but to embezzle, accept bribes, flatter, and speak empty words. All along, you have the idea of doing more for the common people in the future, and all along, you did things against your will. Others who wanted to do things for the common people were eliminated by you. You finally reached the position of the head of department. And then, don't, Xiaobao. In the Great Tang, there is no head of department, nor is there a situation where the municipal party secretary is a vice minister of the standing committee of the provincial party committee. Let's talk about the current situation. Wang Wan interrupted Zhang Xiaobao. Okay, all the way to the position of a 3rd grade or 4th grade provincial governor. You found that because you used the excuse of climbing up the ranks in the Jianghu to get rid of many officials who were willing to do things for the common people. While you were in a high position, you did countless things to harm the common people. So now, you need to start doing things for the common people and realize your original life dream. You, on the other hand, need to explain to the people who came to you that you are now a provincial governor, not a village chief or county magistrate. If you care too much, how can the people under your rule live? If you do everything, what can the people under you do? So, as the secretary, oh no, as the provincial governor, you mainly care about people. If you maintain the balance between the officials under you, you will be successful. And you will also say that many people don't understand you. In this position, there are too many things to consider. You have to maintain the overall correct path and not be biased. At the same time, you are under a lot of pressure from the capital. It is you who desperately communicate with the higher-ups to maintain the stability of a local development. Harmony. Many common people don't know the importance of harmony. In the process of development, there will definitely be problems. But do we not do anything in order to not make mistakes? The officials in the capital are watching, and so is the emperor. Then why can't we maintain a harmonious scene so that the higher-ups can see prosperity? Do we have to make small problems infinitely bigger? Problems do exist, but we can't stop development because of problems. As the municipal party secretary, oh no. As the provincial governor, the production of the entire province, no, the GDP of the people has doubled compared to previous years, a growth rate of 100%. The average income of the common people has reached 1,500 copper coins per month. What does this mean? It means that the path I have been taking is right. As for how the 1,500 copper coins are averaged out, it doesn't matter. I gave you the opportunity to develop, but you didn't work hard. You dragged down the GDP, so how can you have the nerve to complain? And a small number of people are facing difficulties in their lives. This is the pain brought by the reform and development. As the provincial governor, I have to take care of the majority of the people, not a few people who don't have the ability to develop and adjust themselves. Do you want me to directly give money to people who don't have a good life? That would be instilling lazy thoughts in the entire province. Wife, why aren't you against me? Zhang Xiaobao said a lot of things, and all of them were true. After he finished speaking, he seemed to have vented his feelings and was in a good mood. However, he found that Wang Wan didn't interrupt him like before. Wang Wan sighed softly. Xiaobao, you said so much about the situation that existed at that time. Then tell me, how should I change it? Don't be like that person called Lang something Ping more than 100 years ago. He spouted a bunch of nonsense. Now that things have happened, what's the use of him saying nonsense to sell himself? He only knows how to act like an actor on TV, but he doesn't talk about how to solve and prevent the problem. Many fools listen very seriously and think that he is very impressive. Then tell me now, how do you solve the problem and not keep criticizing it when you know the problem? Don't talk about solving the problem of governance. According to what you said, from the section chief level to the central government, they are all rotten. Even if you can take them all down, who will fill in the positions during that time? You can just take down a mayor and find a normal person to tell him that you are now the mayor. Do you think he will be the mayor? If you take them all down at once, the country will collapse. Zhang Xiaobao was stunned after hearing this. After thinking about it, he admitted, yes, I have been criticizing it in the past, but it is useless. I need to solve it. China belongs to everyone, so I have to start with myself. If I feel that society's imagination is wrong, the first thing to consider is what I have done. If my actions are to go with the flow, I have no right to criticize others. I should not be thinking about going against the flow. What I need to do is to do my best to guide. The solution you asked me for is actually very simple. The reason for this problem is one of the problems of China's bureaucracy since ancient times. The other is the problem of economic expansion. To solve the bureaucracy, the upper echelons need to have absolute control over the military. They need some people to replace the current officials. If it is difficult, then solve the economic problem. First, investigate the illegal merchants at the bottom and punish them harshly. Let the people have a sense of hope and expectation for the upper echelons. Then, investigate the merchants in the middle. They have been playing the role of a link. After investigating them, the people will realize that the situation around them has changed. Then it will be a political game to get rid of the illegal upper echelons. At the same time, strengthen the country's military in advance to prevent a large amount of money from flowing out and being protected by other countries. Then what if there is a protective umbrella when investigating the merchants? Wang Wan nodded and asked, protective umbrella? Let their opponents deal with them. The upper echelons only need to take down a small portion of the officials under the protective umbrella. The strong ones will send a signal to the other officials under the protective umbrella to let them fight each other. Then, the upper echelons will laugh at the situation. The final result is that the officials under the protective umbrella will first make a move on the forces under their protection. They are all shameless anyway. They can just find an excuse and compromise with their opponents at the same level. Only then can they keep their position or step down with dignity. During this process, encourage the people to sue the officials. According to the normal principle of fairness, let the people win a few more times to give the people confidence. Then, for 5 to 10 years, some of the officials will not dare to secretly collude with the merchants. After they retire, the new officials will want to collude with the merchants again. However, they will realize that the people are no longer the people they used to be. They know how to resist. Even if the leaders at the top change, they have no choice but to follow this rule. Zhang Xiaobao explained his method of changing a common social phenomenon. He started with the merchants. Although a portion of the merchants would be wronged if others could suffer, why couldn't they? Then, do you think the people will listen? As you said before, many of the people are not complaining about the bad society. They are complaining that they can't occupy a position where they can get more benefits. They scold the officials and profiteers because they can't be officials and profiteers. How do you think we should change it? Wang Wan asked another question that was difficult to answer. Losses. Use losses to exchange, Zhang Xiaobao answered. How? Who are we going to lose? Wang Wan asked again. We will lose the country's economic and international political interests. We will raise the industry standards for foreign investors. We will even confiscate the assets of foreign investors. We will show a strong stance internationally and suppress the neighboring countries. The upper echelons can even broadcast a strong speech on TV and scold people. This way, the people will feel that their country is very powerful. Although it is an illusion, at least they will feel that their backs are straight. The result is that the countries that trade with our country will be very angry. They will use various means to sanction China's foreign enterprises and be politically isolated for a short time. However, there is no need to be afraid of a large-scale war. That will destroy the world. It will be a long process to get through this period and then make concessions internationally. But if we want to keep the roots of this nation, we must do it. First, we will mention the pollution of the enterprises and cause public opinion. Then, we will investigate and pull down some of the officials and give a hint to the opponents of the same officials in other places. Then, we will investigate every official who is exposed. After Zhang Xiaobao finished, he waved his hand. Don't talk about it. It's useless. Let's talk about it now. I want to use practical actions to tell the people of the Tang Empire that cold jelly can also be made on a large scale. Let them see it, and they will learn. And then we won't go to war. We can use it to divert domestic conflicts and give the Ministry of Works Technology some time to adapt to the civilian application. From then on, all problems will no longer be a problem within a few years. Zhang Xiaobao liked the current system more and more. The emperor had so much power. It was so easy to do things. Wang Wan knew that Xiaobao might not attack the previous system in the future because he knew it was useless. But Xiaobao's words were worth thinking about. If the upper echelons had the same idea at that time, they might have handled it better. They were playing this game, thinking that there would be a period of peace on this matter in the future. Wang Wan was in a good mood. Suddenly, she thought of a question and asked, "Why did you start with cold jelly? Was it a coincidence?" Because there are more broad beans in Sichuan. I can always be stupid and find something that doesn't exist in the area to make a sample, right? That's pure idiocy. Zhang Xiaobao winked at Wang Wan. Chapter 1260. Lu Pan came back quickly. As the leader of a group of dock workers, he had a lot of authority in the hearts of the other 22 people. He said that he had met a benefactor and wanted to support Gue Er's business. The 22 people gave up the rest of their work, including the money they should have earned before, and came with him. Everyone was wearing fine linen clothes, and there was a large patch sewn on the shoulders with cotton cloth. It seemed that the patch was not patched after it was worn out, but rather an extra piece of cloth was added before it was worn out. First of all, this attire reflected the better life of the people of Tang. In the past, they were all bare-chested, and when they carried things, they would put a sack under them. When the crumbs on the sack fell down, they would be stuck by the sweat on their bodies, which made them itchy and allergic. Gue no longer sold her cold jelly outside. She waited for others to finish the little bit in their hands before she took the bowl and brought them home. With a group of men around, she naturally did not need to push her own cart. The group left the dock and walked for half an hour before they entered a residential area far away from the main street. At this time, all residential areas had their own courtyards. No matter how big or small they would definitely use fences to enclose an area. Inside the fences were some vegetables that they usually ate. Almost every family set aside an area to pick onions, so that there was no need to buy them. In Gue'er's courtyard, there were 4 chickens, 1 male and 3 females. Their wings were cut short to prevent them from flying over the short fence around the vegetable field to eat the leaves. There were 2 rooms and a warehouse on the side. The windows of the main room were covered with paper, and the house was built with mud and grass. The walls were flattened with a trowel, which could be considered as a kind of pressure press. There were exposed rafters in the herringbone frame, and above them were blue tiles. Judging from the situation, the tiles were just scraped this year, and someone added a hat on the chimney. Looking at the surrounding courtyards, they were also not bad. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were very gratified. This area in Izhou City belonged to the slums. When they came here, many families were living a better life, which showed that the overall quality of life of the people was improving. For a long time, they had not heard of anyone starving to death. Unless he stayed at home and did not know how to ask for food from others when he was hungry or went to the local government, he would naturally be able to eat. They didn't set up a separate department for the relief of the common people. They were directly assigned to the yamen. If there was a problem, they could directly go to the yamen to find the yamen. This was to prevent the external departments from arguing too much back and forth. Gue'er was a single woman with 2 children, so it was impossible for her to take care of the roof tiles. As a single woman, she would need at least 5 days to take care of the roof tiles. If she slipped and fell, it would increase the court's medical expenses. Even if the medical treatment was free, one could not risk one's life. Little brother, come in and take a rest. Gue'er did not care about the 23 dock workers. Instead, she was very enthusiastic towards Zhang Xiaobao, but this enthusiasm carried a sense of distance. Zhang Xiaobao walked in with Wang while Gue'er went to make tea. Some people went to fetch water from the wells in this area. The dock was very dusty, so they wanted to wash their bodies and cool down before continuing with their work. When Zhang Xiaobao saw that the tea was black tea, he was immediately worried. After thinking about it, it was understandable. The local tea must have been fermented for many years. Otherwise, poo or tea would not be so famous. If it was sold to people who lived in the grasslands, they would prefer fermented tea. If it was green tea, it would be less effective for cleansing the stomach. The real tea leaves of the tea horse sect were not specially picked to make black tea. During the process of transportation, the tea leaves would be exposed to the wind, rain, and sun, and the tea leaves would be fermented. After half a year, they would be traded at a place. Black tea was very magical. Sister-in-law Gue'er, there is no need to make tea. Xiaoyu and I will just drink some water. The tea is too hot and will not quench our thirst. Wang Wan stopped Gue'er and gave a lame excuse. Are you not used to the local tea? Gue'er asked bluntly. She then said, my family is busy. They have been coming all the time, so I did not prepare other tea leaves. Wait a moment, I will go and buy some. Wang Wan grabbed her arm and said, no need, no need. We are here to discuss business. We do not lack tea. If we buy more tea, we will have to spend money. It does not cost much. You can see that we live in a remote place, but our living conditions are not bad. We can save the money to raise the 2 children. The 2 children have school to take care of them. The elder daughter is good at her studies, but is not as naughty as the younger one. The school gives us many candles. In the past, if there were outsiders coming, I would feel embarrassed. I always felt that our family was poor. But now I am not afraid. We have clothes, food, and food. As for me, I am not afraid of you laughing at me. I am a single person raising 2 children. The yamen gives me many benefits. My house costs a lot of money every year. I told them that I do not need it, but the yamen runners insist. No one can compare to this house. Usually, during the new year, the yamen will give me vegetable oil and noodles. The meat is all thick with fat, and the little ones do not like to eat it. Goei no longer went to buy tea. She also pulled Wang Wan and chatted with her. Her face was full of happiness, but she would occasionally roll her eyes at Lu Pan. Obviously, she had her own goals now that her life was better. Wang Wan listened to her, and her heart was sweeter than honey. Everything in front of her was forcefully promoted by her and Xiao Bao. Free medical care, free education, and extra care for special groups. When it was implemented, there was no resistance. It was not that people did not want to, but that they did not dare. When it was implemented, it was like holding a knife in one hand and a pen in the other. If the pen was not put down, the knife would be put down. There was no room for negotiation. The imperial court paid a large sum of money every year for this, but did not have to contribute much in terms of disaster relief. Most of it was borne by her and Xiao Bao. It was like a large family that once controlled the country's politics and economy. Therefore, when they obtained power, they had to bear a large part of the responsibility. Moreover, they had to fulfill their dream of developing China. Therefore, the 2 of them contributed to the good lives of the people. Instead of praising them directly, it was better to experience the lives of the people from the side. Sister-in-law, Gui. Do the children want to eat lean meat? Why don't they eat more fish? When children are young, they like to eat fatty meat because it's easy to chew and can provide the body with what it needs. When they grow up, they can't eat too much. It's not good for the body, and it'll affect their health if they gain weight. Wang Wan gave the idea to let them eat fish. As for whether they liked it or not, this was not a problem. Xiao Bei and the rest were starting to ask for children's newspapers. Gui nodded and patted Wang Wan's hand lightly. She said, "Sister, you know more. Your hands are so tender. One look, and I can tell that you're a child of a rich family. You haven't suffered much." Wang Wan was speechless. I haven't suffered much? Do any of you know the pressure Xiao Bao and I have endured? Although we have the best food, clothing, and other necessities, a person's happiness is not measured in this way. When the road to achieving one's dreams is long, walking on it is dangerous, and the requirements are not just food, clothing, and shelter. When we go back, I'll get someone to send some cosmetics to sister-in-law. Actually, sister-in-law doesn't need much makeup. Just put more stuff on your face. You just feel that you have something to do. Wang Wan touched Gui Er's hand. It was indeed rough, but it was work, so it had to be like this. Sister-in-law, you can't accept things from younger sisters. Younger sisters need money to buy them. If you give them to sister-in-law, sister-in-law will feel bad. When sister-in-law has time, you can buy them yourself. Do you also buy for younger sisters? Gui glanced at Lu Pan, who was standing there foolishly, and said. Wang Wan understood. She shook her head and smiled. How can a woman buy her own cosmetics? Isn't it because my disappointing husband gives them to me? He gives me a bunch of things that are useful and not useful. Not to mention that it's a waste of time. I also don't need them. Zhang Xiaobao very wisely cooperated. Of course. Regardless of whether they are useful or not, it has nothing to do with whether I give them or not. It's the reality that you don't need them. Whether you give them or not depends on your attitude. A man who doesn't buy new clothes and cosmetics for his woman is not a good man. Lupin, who was standing not far away and listening to their conversation, blushed. He rubbed his hands in embarrassment and stammered, I'll go out for a while. After he finished speaking, he wanted to leave. Zhang Xiaobao immediately stopped him. Brother Lu, don't be in a hurry. It's more important to discuss business. Then he lowered his voice. I have some cosmetics with an internal price. When the time comes, I'll give you a few sets. It's not worth it to buy them now. What's the internal price? Lupin also asked in a low voice. It's the price to sell to the management of the cosmetics. For example, the most expensive beauty set of whale oil moisturizing skincare series is sold for 760 strings of coins. Moreover, there's a price but no supply. Even if the price is listed, there's no stock. The internal price is cheaper, 300 copper coins per set. Zhang Xiaobao explained. Lupin's eyes almost popped out. Brother, don't lie to me. Is 300 copper coins enough for the cost? It's not like I don't know anything. You really don't know anything. Zhang Xiaobao blinked his eyes with an I know very well expression. He thought to himself, do you know how much the cost is? A whale has a lot of oil. The ships guarding the sea can catch it while they're at it. But he couldn't say that. Instead, he said, the cost is not equal to the internal price. Does the cost have anything to do with the internal price? For example, if you have a cold, you can go to the clinic and get the medicine. It's free. Don't tell me the medicine has no cost. For example, if you go to another place and you're penniless and hungry, you can go to the local yamen. They will treat you to braised pork, 2 tails of wine, steamed buns, and rice. Do you need money? No cost? Is there wine? Lupin was really honest. He directly followed the words and thought of the free food and drink provided by the yamen for outsiders. It depends on the situation. There's definitely no wine on a hot day. If it's rainy and humid, not only will there be wine, but there might also be wine soaked in ginseng. In the past 2 years, there have been more ginseng cultivated by humans. Every yamen has prepared a lot. Brother, do you understand what I mean? The internal price should be lower than the cost. Zhang Xiaobao finally explained the situation. The person opposite him was a blockhead. No wonder he couldn't take a step forward in protecting Gue. Lupin thought about how he could buy over 700 coins worth of cosmetics for 300 copper coins. He was finally tempted, but he still hesitated and asked, Little brother Zhang, how do you want me to repay you? Zhang Xiaobao patted Lupin's shoulder and said, live a good life, be hardworking, be loyal to the Tang Dynasty, abide by the law, and abide by the rules. That's the best way to repay me. I've always thought of that, and that's what I do. Lupin didn't understand what his actions had to do with repaying the other party. Very good. I've already received my reward. Here's the water. Let's wash up. We'll talk later. Zhang Xiaobao said as he saw people carrying in 4 large buckets of water. He called Lupin over. Wang was talking to Gue, sister-in-law. You should raise a few more chickens. You haven't looked at the backyard, but the front yard is big enough. It's enough to raise 20 more chickens. If you really can't do it, you can tie a rope between their legs so that they won't be able to take big steps and eat the vegetables in the field. Let me think if you have 23 hens. 2. No, 1 rooster would be enough. You don't need to use eggs to hatch the chicks. It's just eating eggs. The rooster will guard the hens, and it won't be a problem if it crows normally. Gue was very surprised. She lowered her head to look at Wang Wan's hand, then looked at the size of the yard. She looked at the 4 chickens that were not afraid of strangers and asked in surprise, Big sister, you know how to raise chickens? Aren't you from a rich family? I raised 6 hens in the past, but they didn't lay eggs. It wasn't easy for them to lay a soft one. How could there be eggs to eat? Wang Wan didn't explain why she knew how to raise chickens. She said to Gue, sister-in-law, it's easy to solve the problem if the chickens don't lay eggs or lay soft eggs. There are river snails and shells nearby. You can take a rake and rake a basket of them back for the chickens to eat. The chickens will eat the meat inside. You can crush the shells with a roller. It's best if it's small and scattered on the ground. The hens will eat it themselves. Not only will it replenish the nutrition of the chickens, but it will also replenish the calcium. When the time comes, the eggs will be laid one after another. With 23 hens, you can at least provide about 20 eggs a day. My chickens can sometimes lay 5 eggs in 4 days. Sometimes, but it's definitely not a problem to say that they can lay 4 eggs in 5 days. Guer was tempted. It was said that rich families were very capable. Normally, they could lay 4 eggs in 5 days. At that time, whether they sold it or kept it for themselves or made into salted eggs, it would be good. Younger sister, what did your chickens eat when you raised them? Sister-in-law, it's not suitable for you to use that method. Just a little less is fine. For example, 2 eggs in 3 days. My chickens eat fish bone powder, earthworms, rice grains, vegetable leaves, and the fermented products of the stalks. When the sun is high, there's a place to shelter them. When it's cold, there's measures to keep them warm. We also feed them running water and fine grains of wheat rice stone. The chicken dung is cleaned every day. The temperature is low and the temperature is low. Sister-in-law, you don't have to do this. The cost is too high. My family's poultry is mainly responsible for the Imperial Court's research. In fact, they can lay more eggs, but we need to add other things. We thought about it and gave up. Wang Wan explained in detail. If she let other people raise them like this, the cost was too high. Guer understood and said, then I'll feed them some vegetable leaves and officials. When the time comes, I'll go to the river and get a basket of shelled things. 2 eggs in 3 days. It's not a small amount. I didn't know in the past. Younger sister, you've helped sister-in-law today. Wang Wan was not satisfied when she heard this. The government didn't tell you how to raise chickens? What kind of *T government office are they? Are they all freeloaders? The government does? Guer asked, puzzled. Yes, of course they do. The Imperial Court pays for things that affect the people's lives. The information is free. Moreover, in important places like Ejo, there are specialized technicians in charge of answering questions. It seems that either they don't have the printing materials or they don't advertise. It's too unreasonable to teach them a lesson when we go back. Wang Wan said angrily. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. The people didn't know how to raise livestock and poultry. It was definitely the government's responsibility. Wang Wan was angry. When it was Guer's turn, she was shocked. She looked at Wang Wan and asked, You can control the government. The government also needs to be reasonable, right? We'll make money in 2 days. Moreover, we don't need to do things by ourselves like now. Sister-in-law, you can wait to get rich. Wang Wan didn't reveal her identity. Once she did, she wouldn't be able to find the right atmosphere to talk. Although others looked normal, their thoughts would definitely be different. Guer was happy and confused. She asked, Sister, how do you think we can get rich? Ask him. Wang Wan pointed at Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao turned his head. Wait a moment. When everyone is done, we'll start talking about the plan to make money. There's no need to get loans or find investors. There's only 24 of you. It'll be enough if each of you pools some money. As soon as he said this, the people who were still pouring water on themselves suddenly sped up. After they finished washing themselves, they came over shirtless. They didn't care if their pants were wet or not. Little brother, we'll listen. As long as you really come up with a good plan, we'll definitely support you in the future. We'll listen to whatever you say. Lu Pan expressed his attitude. You'll rebel even if I ask you to? Zhang Xiaobao asked with a smile. Lu Pan was stunned. He scratched his head and said, Brother, you're joking. We admit that we owe you a big favor by earning more money. But if you ask us to rebel, that's impossible. At most, we'll return the money we earn to you. If we really want to rebel, the surrounding neighbors will tear us apart before the army and bailiffs are mobilized. Even if we really rebel, where can we run to if we avoid the neighbors and the army? If we run out, will we still have a home? We don't think that the Tang Empire is bad. We're living a good life now. The emperor is reasonable. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo have been working hard to get more benefits for us. If we really rebel, we'll let them down first. Brother, we've learned enough. You can't make the same joke again. Otherwise, we'll take it seriously. We'll first capture you two and send you to the Blue Sea Silver Sand restaurant to be dealt with by Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Well, you see, Brother Lu, I'm just joking. We're giving you a lot of money now. We're giving you more benefits than Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Don't tell me you still think they're good? Zhang Xiaobao asked again. Wang Wan glared at Zhang Xiaobao with dissatisfaction. You're talking about how to earn money. What Xiao Bao and Cuckoo? Do you want to hear others praise you? Zhang Xiaobao was embarrassed. He really wanted to hear others praise him. It would make him feel better. Who didn't want to hear good words? Moreover, it was praise in front of others when they didn't know who you were. At this time, Lu Pan waved his hand at Wang Wan. Sister-in-law, Xiao Bao and Cuckoo should be praised. They're such good brothers and sisters. To be honest, if there's a disaster in Tang Dynasty and a lot of people die, I'll just feel sad for a while. It's too far away from me, and I can't help much. If there's a need, I can take out some money, but the dead can't be brought back to life. If one day I hear that something happened to Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, I don't know who to cry to. Then it's over. The whole Tang Dynasty is over. Don't talk about them. Look at my mouth. They can't be in trouble. Even if they catch a cold, as long as we know the news, we'll be worried. Good people have to live a long life. I'd rather get sick and suffer for them than... Brother Lu, come, let's not talk about that. They're doing well. Let's talk about business. Can everyone take out 5 strings of coins? Zhang Xiaobao's eyes turned red, and he quickly interrupted Lu Pan. Wang Wan also lowered her head and blinked her eyes. What else could one ask for after being an official like this? In the future, the evaluation of officials should be decided by the people. The people would know best if one did a good job. During one's term, has the income of grain increased? Has the welfare of the people stabilized? Has the living environment improved? That's the most important thing. As for why you would cry whenever you see the people suffering from disasters, and then boast and promise this and that, you are just like an actor. Perhaps you could fool some people in the past, saying that you are cute, a baby, and so on, but the social environment is getting worse and worse. Then are you not embarrassed to be a high-ranking official of 2 worlds? You might say that you have a lot of helplessness. For example, when you can't control the military power during the disaster relief, you can only shout, "Who raised you?" You're not the leader and you're being suppressed. If you can't do it, you should take the initiative to step down. What's the point of occupying a position? Wang Wan started to get angry again. As she thought about it, she suddenly realized that Xiao Bao wasn't criticizing her. So why should she? Besides, they were all in the same class. Why should she be so anxious to attack each other? She shook her head and wanted to throw away the bad thoughts in her mind. She looked at Xiao Bao and waited for him to play his role again. Every time this happened, she would feel the most comfortable. This kind of description of economic operations was as long as an ink painting. Every time this happened, Xiao Bao would always look very, very handsome. Chapter 1261. 5 strings of coins. Little brother, you want to pay 5 strings of coins. There are 24 of us, so we have 120 strings of coins. Let's talk about what to do first. When Lu Pan heard that he needed to pay 5 strings of coins, he was stunned. 5 strings of coins was 5,000 coins. In the past, it was considered not bad to save 2 strings of coins a year. Now everyone had dozens of strings of coins, but 5 strings of coins was definitely not a small amount. Zhang Xiaobao nodded and said, "Okay, I actually want to take you to make cold jelly." "Little brother, I just make cold jelly. I don't need that much money." Gui began to wonder if the other party was a swindler. How much would 120 strings of coins be needed to make cold jelly? Sister-in-law Gui, you're selling it for 2 copper coins per serving. How much is the cost? Xiao Bao asked. Capital? I use broad beans and mung beans to make cold jelly. Usually, it's half a caddy of mung beans and half a caddy of broad beans, which makes 4 caddies of cold jelly. A lot of dregs have to be filtered out. I sell 2 batches a day. Each batch is 30 caddies. 1 batch of cold jelly can be scraped out about 3 taels. 200 batches. The ingredients are 7. 5 caddies of mung beans and 22 caddies of broad beans. According to the current grain price in Ejo, 1 caddy of mung beans is 5 coins, and 1 caddy of broad beans is about 2.5 coins. That is to say, the cost of beans is about 94 coins. You're making 306 coins a day based on beans. Zhang Xiaobao saw that the other party was slow in calculating, so he said it out loud. Gui nodded repeatedly, but I don't make that much money. Of course, because you need sesame paste, garlic juice, sweet, and vinegar soup. Especially the sesame paste and sugar. The price is not low. In a few days, the cucumber will be ready. I don't know if you'll put it in. If you put it in, the cost will increase, but the price won't go up. If the price is high, you can't sell 200 batches. You're using a higher cost to attract customers. Apart from this money, you don't need to spend money on water. Brother Lu and the others will pay for you. You don't need to spend money on firewood either. Brother Lu and the others will send it to you directly. Zhang Xiaobao analyzed and summarized some of the situation. Lu Pan had been frightened by Zhang Xiaobao's analysis before, and now he was still very scared. He asked, "How do you know that firewood is free?" That's because many goods at the docks are packaged with wooden boards. Some goods have to be wrapped with wooden boards at all times, while some are directly dismantled on the spot to take out the things inside. That way, the boards are useless. Since you help them dismantle the boards for free, they'll naturally be left to you. When the time comes, you can take a portion of it home and give the majority to sister-in-law Gui to make cold jelly. Other people don't add soup when they sell cold jelly, but sister-in-law Gui purposely adds soup to quench your thirst, and it's cleaner than drinking raw water. Oh, this cost isn't right, because when sister-in-law Gui sells it to you, she always scrapes it a few times, not 3 taels per serving. However, you don't have to worry about sister-in-law Gui selling things at the docks. If someone comes looking for trouble, you'll settle it. At the same time, you don't have to pay any fees. It was as if Zhang Xiaobao had seen it with his own eyes. He explained everything. "You, little brother, are you in the intelligence business?" Lu Pan asked with his eyes wide open. Wang Wan chuckled and said, "No, we have to care about these seemingly small things. For ordinary people, every needle and piece of thread is a treasure. We need to know the approximate total income and average income. And at the same time, we need to understand how ordinary people live. Every small family, when put together, forms a big family. It's different from money, and it can't be expressed with just numbers. It's not a joke to worry about the people and think about the people. If you don't know the price of oil and salt, how can you pacify the people? The two of us look like we're from a rich family, but we care more about trivial things than you." Lu Pan and the others were stunned. They really couldn't understand why these 2 people from rich families knew so many things that had nothing to do with wealth. Listening to this girl's tone, there was a sense of superiority, just like when an official spoke. The difference was that compared to the official's words, it was more realistic, as if their lives had a lot to do with these 2 people. "Brother, since you know, why do you still want us to make cold jelly? Gui can't sell it alone, and we can't help her sell it." Lu Pan mentioned the cold jelly again. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. "Of course, sister-in-law Gui. Just tell me how much profit you make in a day. It's your net profit after deducting other money." Gui counted with her fingers, lowered her head, and said, about 120 copper coins. "The main thing is that sugar, vinegar, and sesame paste are expensive, but there's not much salt. If you eat too much, it'll be too salty. The big sauce can be used many times. I put it in a gauze bag and cook it. They work and sweat, so if I don't put soup, they have to drink other water. Since I put it in, I'll just sell it. Anyway, more people will eat it." Zhang Xiaobao smacked his lips. The sesame paste is expensive because the sesame seed production is low. What is the Sinangsi thinking? Do they think it's enough to just increase the grain production? With the improvement of the people's living standards, the demand for other goods is also. Forget it, let's get down to business. Sister-in-law Goy, the cost is really high. Brother Lou and the others have to help you carry water, help you transport the soup, and be responsible for helping you split the planks. They only need to put in half an hour every day, which is 15 hours, or they can split the money to help. In other words, basically, you're working for 2 people every day. This is because the imperial court is helping you bear part of the cost of raising the children. Because of your identity, you're exempted from any taxes, which is equivalent to one person earning 60 copper coins. According to the normal income, it's not a small amount, but you have the convenience of the docks. Do you want this little money? There are many other snacks at the docks. What a good location. What a good opportunity. If I do it myself, I can integrate the entire docks within half a year. If I don't earn 600 copper coins a day, I'll feel like I'm losing money. Even if you earn, you'll still lose money. Wang Wan interrupted. To make Xiao Bao waste so much time and only earn 600 copper coins a day, how much of a waste of talent? Lu Pan and more than 20 people were stunned again. What kind of person is this? He's too arrogant. He even wants to integrate the docks. Do you know how deep the waters are in the docks? 600 copper coins a day. It might be possible in dreams, but when you wake up, you'll be shocked. Liar, definitely a liar. Lu Pan's gaze towards Zhang Xiaobao changed. He looked like he was going to catch him at any time. If he ran away when he saw through him later, he would definitely catch him back. He would cause him to lose a lot of wages. Zhang Xiaobao casually glanced and saw through the other party's thoughts. He took out 200 copper coins and slapped it in Lu Pan's hand. I'll give you 200 copper coins to cooperate with you. When you earn enough money, pay me back. You don't want interest? Lu Pan didn't believe it. No, let's see if the money is real. Zhang Xiaobao waved his hand. You don't want to invest? Lu Pan observed the money carefully. It was real, and it was very new. He rubbed it gently, and it made a clattering sound. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head. No. Then what are you after? Lu Pan now didn't treat Zhang Xiaobao as a liar, but as a fool. I'm really not short of money. I'll help you. I'm kind-hearted, okay? I do good deeds to accumulate merit, okay? I'll leave a good reputation, okay? Zhang Xiaobao continued to ask. Okay. Lu Pan shook his head up and down. Then, let's start making cold jelly now. Prepare the ingredients first. With your 120 copper coins, a total of 320 copper coins. Buy a lot of fava beans and mung beans. Just buy a little bit. Do you have Highland barley? Zhang Xiaobao asked the Highland barley. Yes, it's fed to animals now. It's only eaten in the northwest, where other things don't grow well. It's very cheap. Do you want to buy it? Lu Pan asked in confusion. Buy it. Even if you want to grind it, you have to change it. A small grind is too slow. If you have someone selling bean cakes, go buy them. In this season, there are pear eggs on the mountain. Buy them, change them to a big pot, and build a big stove. The rest of you do carpentry and make wheelbarrows and wooden wheels. Buy the beans and soak them first. We'll come back in 2 days at noon. By then, you'll be almost ready, so don't sell it yet. Zhang Xiaobao finished his instructions and was about to leave. Lu Pan stopped him. Little brother, where do you live? If you don't come, how can we find you? Don't look for me. I promise I'll come, unless there's a special accident. In that case, I'll send someone to tell you. Don't worry, I've put in 200 copper coins. I haven't asked you for a receipt. If I don't come to pay, you can sell it anyway. Zhang Xiaobao naturally wouldn't leave his address for them. His identity would be exposed. After he finished speaking, he and Wang Wan strolled out of the door. The sky was already dark, and only the crescent moon of the 3rd day of the lunar month was hanging in the sky. It couldn't illuminate anyone at all. Lu Pan and his group sent Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan out of the door with various thoughts. They followed the two of them to the main road outside. When they saw the Yamen runners patrolling the street, they turned around and went back. Zhang Xiaobao took out a small flashlight, turned it on, and shone it on the ground in front of him. He said proudly, "Fortunately, I'm prepared." As soon as he finished speaking, a flashlight covered the ground in front of him. People came out from various places to guard him and Wang Wan. After turning off his flashlight, Zhang Xiaobao smiled at Wang Wan. "Fortunately, I prepared a group of guards." When the flashlight signal was sent, the road became bright. "Just now, you were using the flashlight to send a signal?" Wang Wan asked with a smile. "Absolutely." Zhang Xiaobao nodded with a serious face. Under Wang Wan's stare, he finally couldn't help but laugh. "Well, I actually wanted to experience the tranquility of the night with you." "Well, I actually didn't want to experience any tranquility. I just wanted the guards to be more prepared than me. Give me some face. Others are watching." "Who's watching?" Wang Wan asked. The road suddenly turned dark. There wasn't even the sound of breathing around them. "Tomorrow, we'll be doing weight training." Zhang Xiaobao's angry voice sounded in the night sky. Lu Pan and his group sent a few people back to each family to report that they would be back later. The torches were lit in the courtyard, and the rest of the people sat quietly around the 200 strings of coins. Even now, I still feel like I'm in a dream. Why did a good person have to take out money for us to buy things without asking for any benefits? What was he thinking? Lu Pan seemed to be talking to others, but also seemed to be talking to himself. Without waiting for others to speak, he said, "Could it be that a spy from another country has infiltrated Izhou's docks and wants to bribe us? Now he wants us to lower our guard so that he can lead us to rebel in the end?" "Brother Lu, don't think blindly," Guaya said. "How could there be a spy? Xiaobao Cuckoo and Xiaobei are all in Izhou. How could they let a spy live? Didn't you see a lot of outsiders at the docks? They're probably the intelligence personnel they sent. There were the most at noon today, and I felt like they were surrounding us. I don't think that person is bad. Maybe he's from a rich family and is looking for something to do. Especially that girl, I can tell from her eyes that she's a kind person. Maybe she's afraid of others killing a chicken. How could she be a spy?" Lu Pan still couldn't convince himself. He patted his leg with his hand and said, "That guy said that he would sell me a set of the Tang's best cosmetics for a few hundred copper coins. What's the internal price? The original price is more than 700 strings of coins. Do you believe it? Why did you buy cosmetics?" Guay caught the main point and asked. I. Lu Pan was at a loss for words. "Sister-in-law, Guay, do you still need to ask? Of course it's for you. Brother Lu is alone. Why would he put on makeup? The best ones are waiting for the time to use. I have to ask Brother Zhang Xiaobao and ask him to get me a set next time. A few hundred copper coins for a few hundred strings of coins. It's cheap. I'll give it to my wife later." Someone in the crowd spoke loudly, and there was no lack of teasing in his words. Shoo, stop fooling around. Guay, don't listen to his nonsense. I just want to see you, Brother Lu. It's fine as long as you don't get cheated." Guay blushed and lowered her head. Fortunately, the light from the torch illuminated everyone's face. The atmosphere became awkward. Lu Pan didn't know how to speak. Mother, we're back." At this moment, a girl's voice came from outside. The courtyard door opened, and a girl and a boy ran in holding hands. "It's so lively." When the girl saw a group of uncles, she called out happily. The boy also showed an excited expression. It was good to have more people. "It's late today." Lu Pan finally found an opportunity to speak. "Today, Xiaobei and the rest came. We ate a lot of canned food at night. Then, Xiaobei and the rest sang a song. Not long after it ended, she sent someone to send us outside and gave each of us 3 cans of food. One is fish from the sea, one is lamb chop, and one is braised pork." The girl said happily and took out cans of food from the 2 people's school bags. Each person had 3 cans, a total of 6 cans. She put them in a row to show off. It's not easy for Xiao Bei and the rest to earn money. Why did you ask them for food? She said she would give it to you. Their family will definitely not pay for it. Their money is very useful, Guei said to her child. The girl pouted. I didn't ask for it. Someone said it was delicious, so she gave it to them. She also said that it's best to spend the money on us. They don't need to spend money at home. Yes, the girl is right. Lu Pan quickly protected her and pulled the girl to his side. He wrapped an arm around her and said, just take it. Remember to study hard and repay them in the future. Father, how do we repay them? The boy ran over and leaned on the other side of Lu Pan. Everyone directly ignored the way the boy addressed Lu Pan. One by one, they started to talk. Some said that they would repay him by becoming an official. Some said that they would go to the Ministry of Works. And some said that they would become teachers in other schools. There were too many to enumerate. The courtyard became lively again. Lu Pan concluded. Anyway, the two of you have to study hard. In the future, if I need you to do anything, you have to do it. Don't think that Xiao Bei and the rest are stupid. They gave you things for free. They are good to you, so you have to repay them. Otherwise, how could they be stupid enough to give things to others? He said that his name is Zhang Xiaobao. Lu Pan, who was educating the child, suddenly understood many things and was stunned. Brother Lu, what is Zhang Xiaobao? Guer asked. It's the two people who came to our house. The man is called Zhang Xiaobao. Lu Pan swallowed hard and replied softly. Isn't his name Zhang Xiaoyu? Yes, no. At first, when I asked him, he said that his surname was Zhang and his name was Xiaobao. I didn't believe him, so he changed it to Zhang Xiaoyu. When I was eating cold jelly, Guei you said that there were suddenly many people at the pier at noon. They seemed to be surrounding us. He casually took out 200 strings of coins and threw them away. He said that he had cosmetics that were priced internally. He said that he could make us rich. Lu Pan began to summarize all the things. Brother, you mean? One of Lu Pan's brothers asked, but he couldn't finish his sentence. Another one continued, didn't sister-in-law Guei say that the girl's eyes are kind? Lu Pan nodded. No wonder his hands are so strong. I heard that he is very good at fighting. That's right, kind. Of course, Cuckoo thinks that we are kind. Previously, when I heard their words, I felt that something was wrong. It seemed that no matter what, they could take care of everything. Heavens, such a huge meat pie has fallen on our heads. Quick, let's go back and rest. Tomorrow morning, we'll do as he says, and by whatever he tells us to. Guei, we've encountered an extremely good thing. You are the one who encountered it. Brother Lu is the lucky one. Did Xiao Bao ask you anything else? Guei's eyes lit up. She felt that the night air was so comfortable to breathe. Lu Pan hugged the two children tightly. There is no need to ask. Xiao Bao directly guessed it. He said that I squatted there to eat. One was to give up his seat, which means that we have a good relationship. The other was to look at you from the side. At that time, you were the most beautiful. He said that I like you. He is so good. Good. Brother is also good. Someone started to shout again, but the others followed suit. Go away, a bunch of stinky men. I won't talk to you anymore. Come, girl, let's go back to the house. Ignore them. Study well at night, but don't be too tired. Guei stood up and pulled her daughter into the house. Lu Pan only had one child by his side. He glared at them. All of you go back. We have to wake up early tomorrow. Whoever dares to slack off will be punished. Brother, aren't you going home? It's late and the road is dark. A person ran 2 steps to the door and turned back to shout. Yes, I will follow you back to your house. Lu Pan got up and chased after him. The group of people laughed and walked out. Let's go. I will send you to the house. I will come over early tomorrow morning. Lu Pan said to the boy in his arms. Father, everyone else has a father. You stay and send me and my sister to school tomorrow. I will have one too. The little boy was indeed more sensible, because he was born in this era. Lu Pan hesitated, shook his head, and said, "Wait a few days. I will send you to school after I earn more money with Xiao Bao." 2 days passed quickly. While Lu Pan and the others were waiting, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan came in the afternoon. Both of them brought things. Zhang Xiaobao carried 2 millstones in each hand. The millstones were not big, and each weighed about 15 kilograms. An ordinary person would be tired of carrying them, but it was not a problem for him. Wang Wan carried a few gears and triangular belts, as well as the shaft of the millstone. "You are all here. We brought some things for you. Actually, you can do it yourself. I was afraid of wasting time, so I asked the inner courtyard of my house to do it. There are also a few parts. They are made of wood, so you will have to forge them. After forging and assembling them, the 2 millstones can be stepped on and turned." When Zhang Xiaobao saw them, he smiled and said. Wang Wan followed with a smile and said, "2 men, the gears in my hands are very heavy. My eyes are so kind. Don't you feel embarrassed to let me be tired? Be careful not to suddenly become unkind." The first reaction of Lu Pan and the others was to look around. Sure enough, they found a person waving his hand in a tree about 30 meters away from the courtyard. There was also a mirror-like reflection on the eaves of other people's houses about 50 meters away. They immediately guessed what it was. Immediately, someone ran in front of Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao, stretched out his hand cautiously, and took the things. Compared to your family's children, you are far inferior. They will definitely not be afraid of Xiao Bei, Wang Wan said with a smile. Lu Pan slapped his thigh and said, "Yes, what are you afraid of? If you don't do anything wrong, you don't have to be afraid of ghosts. Xiao Bao, Cuckoo wants to see him even in her dreams. Whoever has a guilty heart will be afraid. Brother Xiao Bao, I didn't expect it to be you that day. I figured out later. Everything has been prepared, and we are waiting for you to bring us rich." "Good. First get rich, then get married. No matter what, we have to do a good job, right, Brother Lu?" Zhang Xiaobao said as he patted the dust on his hands. "Yes," Lu Pan said firmly. Then everyone started to get busy, especially the new wooden parts. After 2 hours, they were all done, waiting for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to assemble them. The two quickly installed 2 small grinding stones with gears, and then began to let everyone grind the cooked broad beans, mung beans, and barley. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were in charge of grinding the sesame seeds they brought. The small grinding stones turned quickly, and the sesame seeds were ground into fine powder, which was a mixture of sesame paste and sesame oil. After a while, there was a layer of sesame oil on top and sesame paste at the bottom. The steamed bean cakes were also ground into powder and mixed with sesame paste and sesame oil according to a certain ratio. "Xiao Bao, are you faking it?" Lu Pan couldn't help but ask. "Why would I fake it? The bean flour is also very delicious, and there is sesame oil in it. It is more nutritious than normal sesame paste. I am lowering the cost while improving the nutrition and taste. How much would it cost to put all the sesame paste? If you don't believe me, you can try it. It tastes better, and there is no poison in it." Zhang Xiaobao explained. "What about the barley?" Lu Pan asked again. The barley was cheap, very cheap. There is starch in the barley, and it doesn't taste good because it is too smooth. But the starch jelly is smooth. I want to use rice, but it is too expensive. Who said that starch jelly can only be made from mung beans and broad beans? In the future, I will make different kinds of starch jelly, and I will use whatever is cheap as the raw material. Zhang Xiaobao still had to explain, otherwise it would be easy for others to suspect that he was cutting corners. The information was not balanced, and of course, the profit would be less. The principle of starch jelly was to form the starch, and if it was not formed well, add a little bit of alum. Lu Pan smiled as if he had been taught a lesson. He looked around and asked again, "Will the starch jelly we make be delicious and cheap in the future?" "Absolutely. Why would I lie to you?" "What about the pears?" "Boil them so that there is no need to add sugar and vinegar. They are sweet and sour, so there is no need to spend so much money. Zhang Xiaobao didn't see the pear eggs, so he was afraid that they wouldn't buy them. They are piled up in the backyard. Who knows that they can replace vinegar and sugar? I thought they were used for something else. Lu Pan waved his hand, and immediately 2 people ran to the back to carry the basket of pears. Zhang Xiaobao was satisfied and said, "Very good. You'll find that the soup boiled with pears is better than the one mixed with sweet and vinegar. I don't want to nag you, but you should use your brains more often. We are not as smart as you. No wonder you dare to say that you can make at least 600 strings of coins a day by consolidating the trading of the dock. You are really capable. Even if you don't show your identity, we believe you can do it. You are Zhang Xiaobao, and we think 600 strings of coins is too little for your identity." Lu Pan said very seriously. He was not flattering. The person opposite was not a stranger, but a legendary figure. Was 600 strings of coins of money for him? Well, then I have to show my skills. When I made it before, there was a lot of dregs, and it was a waste to throw them away. Today, I will tell you how to reduce the dregs. Zhang Xiaobao accepted the flattery calmly and began to further process the raw materials. Chapter 1262. As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, he took the remaining dregs and placed them in the courtyard to dry under the sun. While drying, he explained, the fiber of many crops is different from that of sesame seeds. Normally, when people encounter a lot of dregs, they will change to a small mill, which is time-consuming and laborious. In the end, they find that it is better to just throw it away. However, the small mill we use is different. It is made using the principle of leverage. When a person steps on it, the small mill can spin many times. Is this okay? Yes, it can continuously grind all the dregs into finer powder, but it takes a long time. If we want to shorten the time, we need to invest more in the foundation, increase the number of small mills, or use more advanced machinery. In fact, our great Tang now has this kind of technology and even more sophisticated machinery without using manpower. It is all thanks to the countless efforts of our great Tang's craftsmen. Xiaobao, we all know that it is your and Cuckoo's work. Others can't compete for it, but you are doing your best to give it to others. However, we are not fools. We know who is good and who is bad, and who has done what. The emperor is good and has always supported you. Let me say something disgraceful. If the emperor doesn't support you, we will have thoughts of rebelling. Lu Pan listened very seriously, not forgetting to correct Zhang Xiaobao's mistakes in his words. This indirectly showed how popular Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were. Zhang Xiaobao quickly waved his hand. Let's not talk about this. Let's not talk about this. What rebellion? Live well. I will also say something disgraceful. Cuckoo and I have decided on a major national matter, and we will kill whoever opposes it. We can give some benefits, but those who control a lot of resources must do as we say. Isn't that right, madam? I will talk about something else with sister-in-law. Women should not interfere in men's matters, Wang Wan replied to Zhang Xiaobao. Then, she pulled Er's hand and walked 2 steps away to continue talking. You don't interfere. War is a man's matter. Zhang Xiaobao mumbled, which made the others smile. He continued, what I just said was the important role of transforming science into productivity. Look at the grinding mill that we brought with us. You guys didn't have it before. It's very tiring to use a small grinding mill by hand, and it's very slow. Now, don't expect me to bring you such advanced tools. It involves military secrets, and the cost is too high. I'm bringing you to solve the problem using existing methods, not using technology. Otherwise, I won't be able to show my skills, right? Ha ha ha, that's right. Xiaobao is right. Lu Pan laughed heartily and echoed. No one dares to doubt Xiaobao's abilities. Otherwise, why would the people of Shang be afraid of you? It's good that you're afraid of me. Humans should have a heart of reverence. Otherwise, the world will fall into chaos. For example, Cuckoo and I also have things to fear. We're not afraid of gods or immortals. What we're afraid of is that the tradition of Yen Huang will be broken. Just now, we were talking about the mechanical application of production technology. Now, we will talk about a part of the inheritance of a nation's civilization, knowledge. Civilization has many meanings. There is applied knowledge, philosophical knowledge, spiritual connotation, and the factors that lead to the transition between the two. Civilization is very important. When Zhang Xiaobao talked about this, he became very serious. Usually, he could appear to be indifferent, but when it came to the problem of the nation's soul, he would be solemn and respectful. That was because other things were external, but this was the root. Lu Pan and the others couldn't help but change their attitude. They withdrew their relaxed smiles and asked, "Xiaobao, is knowledge just reading books? Like what children learn now?" "Yes. You guys think that children learn knowledge in words. Knowing how to read and calculate is the purpose of going to school. But the truth is not so. Nowadays, children are accumulating knowledge. Language and mathematics are the foundation. It's convenient for them to learn geography and nature. In fact, geography and nature are really useful. For example, I'm asking you to dry the dregs now. It has a lot to do with knowledge. Under normal circumstances, things have fibers. It's too tiring to use a small mill to grind them. What do? It's easy to destroy the fiber structure. Fermentation is a very good method. It looks very simple. You guys just have to follow it and use the same method in the future. You can continue to crush things after a short period of fermentation. But what you learn is only to know how it is. Children study to know why it is. After many years, this method will no longer be knowledge, but common sense. Everyone who studies will know this principle. When people look at something again, they will not first think about why it is like this. Instead, they will think about why it is like this. This is the power of knowledge. Once a nation has mastered a lot of knowledge, it won't have much effect on internal competition. Everyone knows, and the competition will still be the same. However, it will have a great effect on the overall development of the nation. As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, he glanced at Wang Wan. Wang Wan had taught him a lot of things and let him go through a systematic learning process. To him, Wang Wan was not only his wife and support, but also a teacher. Of course, he had also taught Wang Wan a lot of knowledge. If the two of them really separated, the difference would not be as simple as half. Lu Pan and the others were even more serious. They looked at Zhang Xiaobao and tried to understand Zhang Xiaobao's words. It turned out that children went to school for this purpose. It was not just to read newspapers and calculate, but to increase the family's income. Taking a deep breath, Lu Pan looked at Zhang Xiaobao with admiration and said, "Xiaobao, are you saying that children will have more ways to earn money in the future? You and Cuckoo were thinking too far ahead when you first took action." Zhang Xiaobao shook his head. "No, in the future, everyone will have a lot of knowledge. It's impossible to rely on this knowledge to make a lot of money, unless we leave the Tang Empire and go out to earn money. Learning skills will make everyone's lives more comfortable. Let me give you an example. Where there is a flood now, the locals still drink well water and river water like before, and it's easy for them to get sick. After mastering knowledge, it will be common knowledge. When people see their home flooded, the first thing they will think of is hygiene. For example, they will think of ways to drink water, burn the bodies of dead animals, pay attention to keeping warm, and adjust their emotions. Also, when they see their family members suddenly short of breath, their faces turn red, and their pulse becomes strong. Those who have learned will first think about why, and then simply treat it from a surface, such as physical cooling and artificial respiration. Brother Lu, you will know in the future. 10 years later, when many people go to the doctor in the clinic, they will say to the doctor before the doctor asks, "I feel that my body is a little hot. I just tested the body thermometer, and my temperature is 38.5 degrees. My throat is a little sore, and when I touch it, there is a big lump. I suspect that it's tonsillitis. Can you take a look and see if it's true?" Then when the doctor sees them and asks them about their usual things, they will say, "I was tired a while ago, mainly because I did a lot of work and didn't rest well. I couldn't sleep at night, and the place where I worked was dusty, so I didn't wear a protective mask. Recently, I mainly ate spicy food, and there was a small conflict at home. There are always a few hours every day when my mood is unstable. I tried to take Bezor antidote pills, but it didn't have any effect, and I had diarrhea." Zhang Xiaobao said to Lu Pan. What he said was the normal situation of people at his time. Before going to the hospital to see the doctor, he had to make a general judgment. Lu Pan was stunned and asked in surprise, Can it be like this? Then wouldn't we all become doctors? No, if it's a small illness, you will first judge it and then take some medicine. Once you find that it's not good, you will definitely see the doctor. Learn, first of all, know your own situation, then understand what the doctor needs to consider, and then cooperate with the doctor better to treat your own illness. The power of knowledge is once again reflected. If you have time, read books and go to the night school. The knowledge I just said is something that a child can learn in 10 years. When a child is young, ordinary people don't have a thorough understanding of knowledge. If you go to adults to learn, in less than 10 years, the adult's analytical ability is better than the child. It's also very useful for you to learn in 6 or 7 years. Don't tell me you can't live after 6 or 7 years. Or don't you want to live after 6 or 7 years? Now, it's easy for us Tang people to learn knowledge. Cherish it. Zhang Xiaobao advised earnestly. He knew too well what it meant for a nation to be strong. It could make the whole world tremble. For example, when he and Wang Wan came over, they achieved a lot because they had enough knowledge. In fact, if any normal person came over at that time, they would rise, but the degree of their rise would be different. For example, the composition of gunpowder or the principle of planting vegetables in the wrong season. If they didn't know, they would definitely be stupid. How stupid was he back then? Graduated from the acrobatic class? For the current era, it was another way of saying it. When the people of the Tang Dynasty mastered the knowledge, they could use it as much as possible. It was like white people of the Qing Dynasty and the Republic of China went abroad to study. At that time, when foreign missionaries came over, the locals would actively help to build churches, and the government had to treat them with respect. Why? Wasn't it because they had a little knowledge of physics, chemistry, and medicine? So the status of missionaries was like a god? Sigh. Zhang Xiaobao sighed and continued to say to Lu Pan and the others, Anyway, it's not wrong to listen to me. You have never experienced it, so you will never know how painful it is to be oppressed by knowledge. When you have more contact with other countries in the future, you will be grateful to me. We are very grateful to you now. Xiaobao, I'm not afraid of you laughing at me, but I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes we chat and are very puzzled. Lu Pan took 2 steps forward and patted Zhang Xiaobao's shoulder. He looked around nervously and was relieved when there were no bullets flying toward him. Yes, it's very magical. Isn't it? I can't figure it out. I guess it's like what Xiaobao said, we are uneducated. Then what is going on? The others echoed. Zhang Xiaobao was confused by their words. He looked around and said, Big Brother Lu, I'm also puzzled. I'm puzzled. What are you puzzled about? Xiaobao, we usually chat about the relationship between money and life. You see, we have to spend the money we earn. When other businessmen earn money, they have to spend it. But your family earns more, and your family usually gives us money for free. In the end, as we talked, we found a problem. Our lives are better, and the businessmen have more money, but your family's income doesn't decrease. Don't you think it's strange? Normally, when someone earns, someone loses, right? Lu Pan said what was on his mind. His eyes widened, and he waited for Zhang Xiaobao to explain. Chapter 1263. When Zhang Xiaobao heard this, he immediately knew what Lu Pan and the others were asking. It was nothing more than the amount of money in the world, and now it was all about how to increase the amount of money. Zhang Xiaobao did not want to reason with them, so he directly said, "Brother Lu, let me ask you something. Dig out the soil from the ground, a foot thick, and put it on a wooden frame, and plant something inside. Will it grow?" "Grow, it needs to be watered, just like planting flowers." Lu Pan answered. "Dig out a foot of soil and plant something. Will it grow?" Zhang Xiaobao asked again. "Grow." Someone else answered. "If I dig out another foot of soil from the ground and plant again, will it grow?" Zhang Xiaobao asked again. "Of course it will grow." Lu Pan rushed to answer. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. "Yes, our money is the same as the soil. In the past, we only planted a foot of soil, but there is still a lot of soil below that can be planted. Now that we have more money, it is just like digging up soil, but the soil below is raw soil. After a period of time, it will become mature soil, right?" "Aya, Xiaobao, you are so knowledgeable. In the past, someone told us this, but we did not understand, and we were embarrassed to say that we did not understand. Xiaobao, you are so good. Once you say it, we understand. That person is really hateful." "Xiaobao, do you know what he said? It sounds like a book from heaven." Lu Pan clapped his hands and said happily, "He finally understood." Zhang Xiaobao pondered and said with a smile, "Brother Lu, let me give you an example. Did he say that the soil in the world nurtures the things in the world? The roots of the things in the world are an inch deep, and an inch of soil nurtures an inch of things. This is the principle of the world. But the soil is only an inch thick. An inch of soil nurtures. Is it not out of the ordinary? No, if the soil is 9,000 feet thick, it will nurture 9,000 things. This is the case." "That's right, Xiaobao. That's exactly what he said to us. Anyway, we didn't understand. He's just bullying us." "Xiaobao, now I know we have to go to night school. This is too much of a bully. Who does this? He is looking down on us. Learn, we must learn. Xiaobao, you're a good person. We know that you're much better than him. You've always been straightforward with us. It's not that you don't understand. It's just that you don't want to. Next time I see him, I'll beat him up." Lu Pan's face was filled with grief and indignation. He had been tricked by someone using knowledge. At that time, he and the others had to pretend that they understood, afraid that they would be looked down upon. But in reality, the matter was that simple. Why couldn't that person speak properly? When Wang Wan heard this, she couldn't help but laugh. Holding Gue Er's hand, she turned around and said to Lu Pan and the others, "Brother Lu, he really deserves to be beaten. He thinks he can bully people just because he has learned something. However, you can't hurt him. After you beat him up, send him to the yamen and tell him the reason why you beat him. The yamen will deal with him." When Lu Pan heard Wang Wan's words, he felt embarrassed and scratched his head. "I'm just saying. Why would I beat him up? Who asked me to not be capable enough? If it were you or Xiaobao, he would dare to speak the same way. You would use the same words to confuse him." "Wrong, Brother Lu. If he really dared to speak to us like that, I would beat him up too. After I beat him up, I would call my younger brother Xiao Yuan over and let Xiao Yuan speak to him using the same method. If he can't answer, I would continue to beat him up." Zhang Xiaobao laughed as he spoke to Lu Pan. Why? Lu Pan had heard that Xiao Yuan could read 10 lines at a glance and had a photographic memory. However, after beating someone up, it didn't seem right to bully them. "No reason, I just don't like him. If he doesn't speak properly to normal people, shouldn't he be beaten up? Send him to the yamen, and the yamen will arrange for him to teach students. Aren't you just showing off your high literary standards? I'll give you a chance." Zhang Xiaobao laughed until he clutched his stomach. Lu Pan laughed along and said, "Don't the yamen officials support him? The yamen officials are more capable." Wang Wan continued, "Brother Lu, don't worry. The yamen officials won't support him. If any yamen official supports him, when Xiaobao and I give political and economic orders, we will use the same terminology. If the yamen official doesn't understand, we will use all our strength to teach him a lesson. Or if the yamen official is sick and goes to the medical hall, the doctors will use this method to treat the yamen official. Every profession has its own specialization. Just like carrying jobs at the docks, hard objects are hard objects, and soft objects are soft objects. Oh, that is to say, when you carry hard objects, you have to use all your strength in the area you are carrying. When you carry soft objects, you have to relax the area you are carrying. Even your feet have to follow the soft force. Most people don't know that carrying once or twice is not a problem, but if you carry it a few more times, you will definitely get injured. This is knowledge. Everyone has something they don't know. Who dares to say that they know everything? Lupin and the others were shocked to the point that they were numb. Sister Cuckoo, what you said doesn't include you and Xiao Bao, right? Why can't I see that the two of you have something you don't know? You even know about carrying jobs at the docks. Yes, you are right. If you relax with hard objects, you will feel more and more painful. It will be like knives stabbing into your body. You have to use all your strength and endure through it. If you force yourself with soft objects, when you walk, the springboard will go up and down. You will feel that there is no place in your stomach that doesn't hurt. You can only use your strength to walk. It's like diving. If there are no calluses in the area where the pole is placed, you will have to be hard. When you walk, your legs have to be soft. Otherwise, if your shoulders hurt, who will spill the water? It's easy for you to watch others jump without using your hands to support them. If you look closely, his upper body is not moving at all. It's the softness in his legs that causes him to jump up and down. Sister Cuckoo, you have to take care of yourselves. With the two of you who truly care about us, we can only live to see the light of day. Yes. Big Brother Lou is right. The two of you don't live for yourselves. If there is danger, just give us a shout, and we will rush forward. What's that saying again? One of the men carrying the pole added. Lupin continued the conversation and said, I know. When I was in Luzhou, someone said that at that time there was a torrential flood. Dark clouds covered the world, and the faint roars of dragons could be heard. They were afraid that the immortal court would punish the mortal world under orders. They were in a panic. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo held hands and pointed to the sky, asking the immortals if they dared to fight. The dragons retreated in fear, the clouds dispersed, and the moon and stars appeared. Lupin was truly shocked and touched. In his opinion, Xiao Bao and Cuckoo were high and mighty existences. People said that the two of them dared to go against the heavens. How frightening was that? Otherwise, why did Xiao Bao say that he was not afraid of gods and immortals just now? From what others saw and said with their own eyes, it could be seen that the two of them did not care about immortals at all. They must have come down from the heavens. However, what if they were accidentally hurt by mortals? With their status, they actually knew what they did every day. Was there anything more considerate than this? As he thought about it, Lupin actually cried. He wiped his tears and said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, Actually, let me tell you too, the mortal world is very good. The mortal world of Tang is better. You still have your parents, grandparents, brothers, and sisters. Don't be in a hurry to go back. If anyone makes you unhappy, you can tell us. We will make that person unhappy, which is also a kind of happiness. Go back. Go back to where? Zhang Xiaobao felt that he had entered a mental hospital. What nonsense was this? Dragon retreated in fear? He had never seen one before. If he really saw one, he would think of a way to catch it and see if it was a new species. Go back to the heavens. Lupin explained. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head hard. No, it's so cold up there. It's hard to even breathe. It's not as good as the mortal world. If there is a chance in the future, we have to bring an oxygen tank. Otherwise, we will die. I see. It's not good to be an immortal. Lupin understood. Zhang Xiaobao was really out of ideas. He waved his hand and said, Make cold jelly. Everyone, do it together. It's very simple. Sister-in-law Gui, you are in charge. No one asked how much the cold jelly would be sold. They obediently started to work. For hours later, it was dark again. Zhang Xiaobao didn't even use an abacus or pinch with his fingers. He directly calculated in his mind. He happily said to the tired and confused people, "The cold jelly we made now is 3,000 kilograms. If we sell it normally, according to our new conversion rate, it will be 10,000 servings. Including sesame paste and other things, the cost is 3,100 copper coins." Hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words, the others didn't respond. Zhang Xiaobao had to explain in detail. In the past, 60 kilograms earned 120 copper coins. That is to say, 1 kilogram earned 2 copper coins. Now it's 3,000 kilograms, so we should earn 6,000 copper coins. But how much should we sell it for? 20,000 copper coins. But our current cost is 3,100 copper coins, not including the part that is being fermented outside. If we still sell it at that price, we will earn 16,900 copper coins. 3,000 kilograms is 50 times the price of 60 kilograms. That is to say, according to the original ratio, it will be 338 copper coins. The net profit is not 300 copper coins. After deducting the gross profit of the beans, the net profit in the past was 120 copper coins. If we include the fermented outside, our current profit is at least 3 times. 3 times is 360 copper coins. Hearing this, everyone understood. 3 times, and it seemed that it wasn't just 3 times. There were still a lot of fermented outside. Maybe it could even reach 4 times. Xiaobao, 3 times is 3 times. How do we sell it? Lu Pan was worried. Haven't you finished the carriages I asked you to make? I counted just now. There are a total of 31 carriages. You guys spend a few days to make 90 carriages. When the time comes, we will sell them wholesale. Anyone who wants to sell can lend a carriage to us. We will only earn 1.5 times the original price of 60 kilograms of 120 copper coins. We will give the other 1.5 times the profit. When the fermented outside is done, I will make some new things. We will probably earn less than 4 copper coins per kilogram. Isn't it a good deal? We don't need to sell it. As for where others will sell it, I will plan the area. The weather is getting hotter, the cold jelly is getting more and more popular, and our taste is getting better. Such a big wharf, we will distribute 20 of them, and the rest will be distributed to other places. In the future, we will not sell it. We will focus on making liangpi. As the process improves, I believe the cost will be lower. Especially when you guys are buying, the price is really high. I don't know how you guys negotiated. Zhang Xiaobao had already thought about it. He would make a series of cold jelly. After all, a single flavor was not enough. Lu Pan had an idea. Xiaobao, according to what you said, we are not enough people. We still have to work at the wharf. We can't keep making cold jelly. There is no need for you guys. You are all men, so you should do other things. Women can do cold jelly. You guys have women at home, right? Look at the work you did before. If the money is not enough, come over and increase the scale. Now, it is only 10,000, which is really not much. How many people are there in Izhou? How many people are there at the wharf recently? In the past, sister-in-law Gui sold 60 kilograms of cold jelly a day. Now, even if she sells 60 kilograms of cold jelly, the money she earns is twice as much as before. Then, 3,000 kilograms is 50 times the original amount. She can hire 20 people and give each of them 1% of the current income. She should be satisfied, right? The remaining 30 people's amount will be earned by sister-in-law Gui alone. Are you scared? Let's calculate at least twice as much. Sister-in-law Gui can command people and earn 7,200 copper coins a day. Zhang Xiaobao continued. He was waiting for the right time to form a chain brand. Lu Pan thought about it and felt that it was right. He was worried. Why would others buy from us? Can't they make it themselves? In fact, there are 24 people selling cold jelly at the wharf. The wharf area is very big and there are several unloading ports. There are also people selling cold jelly in the shops. Because our cost is low and the supply cost is much lower than their production cost. It is also very tiring to produce. At the same time, our taste is good, and there will be a series of new flavors in the future. This is called industrial centralization and scale. Of course, the one who is really paying is me. My labor cost is the highest. I provided the new raw materials and technology, and I provided the follow-up technology. As for my identity as Zhang Xiaobao, how much do you think it is worth per hour? I calculate according to the annual increase of assets. Every minute is more than 100 copper coins. If it was not for the sake of making an example, do you think I would come here to sell cold jelly? Wouldn't it be better for me to sleep by myself? Wouldn't it be better for me to make 2 delicious dishes for Xiao Bei and the rest? Zhang Xiaobao said as if he was complaining. Lu Pan and the rest reacted. Indeed, he was Xiaobao. Moreover, he was not wasting only Xiaobao's time, but also Cuckoo. Then I'll try? Find other people selling cold jelly. In fact, there are more than 90 people selling cold jelly in Izhou. Lu Pan asked in a low voice. Go ahead. Remember to raise the price and let them bargain. Don't think of monopolizing all the cold jelly sellers in Izhou. That will be troublesome. Only with a comparison can there be a market. Zhang Xiaobao waved his hand. Then he remembered that this was not his home, so he said, let's go. I'll tell you how to make other flavors in 2 days. It's dark now. Brother Lu, if you go out, won't other people be sleeping? Gui smiled and said, let them go. It's far away. They may not arrive until tomorrow noon, and they have to rent a horse. If they go in the middle of the night, other people will be busy. Soaking beans, grinding, and cooking all take time. Selling cold jelly is very tiring. It saves a lot of time and money. They will definitely be willing. Zhang Xiaobao was relieved. He followed Wang Wan out, and people continued to light up the place with flashlights. You don't look very happy. Wang Wan observed Zhang Xiaobao on the way and asked, because the technical content is too low. Others can learn it, but the people I hired learned it for 2 days and found it so easy, so they made it by themselves. Zhang Xiaobao answered, then you don't look very sad. Wang Wan asked again, because we can sign a 3-month contract first and increase the compensation. Zhang Xiaobao answered again, why 3 months? Wang Wan didn't want to waste time thinking about it. It will be autumn in 3 months. It's very hot in Izhou in autumn. The cold jelly is more popular, and it can't be restricted by the contract. Besides, the 3-month contract has already formed a brand advantage in one area. When I release 2 flavors, who can shake this position? Zhang Xiaobao was like a loser, answering feebly. Wang Wan thought for a while and understood. She stared at Zhang Xiaobao and said, everything is within your calculations. You pretend to be pitiful. Are you playing the pig to eat the tiger? I've decided. Tonight, you will count the moon. Zhang Xiaobao looked up at the moon in the sky and said awkwardly, count the arc? Is it the inner arc or the outer arc? You know, the moon, she is not a perfect circle. You're tuning in to the Echo Reads YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.